Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It is Leafs and Blue Jackets in action tonight on the Frozen Frenzy night. All 32 NHL teams in action. The Leafs, one of two teams on a back-to-back, so they have an excuse.
Yeah, already working at a disadvantage. But
They're heavy favorites, folks.
They will have the Hildebeest. Dennis Hildeby in goal for the Maple Leafs tonight. Not Joseph Woll and not Anthony Stolarz, but Dennis Hildeby versus Daniil Tarasov. Leafs trying to go 5-2 early on the season after beating the Tampa Bay Lightning last night. And the Blue Jackets kind of sputtering, going back and forth, wins and losses. We'll see if they can bet back to 500 tonight. Let's go to the player to watch, presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca. Ailish, who do you have your eyes on tonight?
I'm not going to overthink this. It's Austin Matthews for an anytime goal, minus 125, or 2 at plus 375. The reason why, he's got at least one goal in 9 straight games against the Columbus Blue Jackets and 12 total goals in that span. He's leading the league with shots on net, averaging 5 and a bit per game. Ample opportunity to get the job done tonight against a team with a pretty poor save percentage. Also, the power play was looking a lot better yesterday when they played. One of 4 against Tampa, so I can see him getting some power play opportunities and maybe helping because the Blue Jackets rank 26th in the NHL in the PK.
There you go. We didn't talk about it in the previous block, but some inroads made on the power play for the Maple Leafs.
It's all good now.
Little simplified approach and a couple bounces, but also a nice play to enter zone. And yeah, the Maple Leafs looked a little bit more competent in that regard. Another thing they can try and roll over here and keep the good times going here.
Yeah, let's keep the good times going. It'll be fun when you do your out-of-town scoreboard during the commercial breaks with all of these teams in action. But it'll be good to play against Columbus. I think the Leafs can take advantage. You mentioned it as one of the keys for tonight is not to let your foot off the gas and to continue that power like you are a better team than the Columbus Blue Jackets. Simplify, play harder. Definitely some interesting battle spots in terms of roster. We said that Robertson's in, Pacioretty's in, no David Kampf. And we got Reeves in the lineup tonight. So internal competition, I'm a fan of at times, right? Like, I think it's still early in the season. You want to size up your opponent, but you size up the guys on your wing and your centerman. And you say, hey, I want to be the best that I can be. That might be trying to move up a line or at least stay in the lineup.
And yet there are front runners in the internal competition. We know David Kampf isn't winning any races now for Craig Berube. We know Timothy Liljegren is on the outside looking in. And we know there's a cap crunch looming with players getting back to full health. If you're setting the odds on who might be shipped out of town, right now the front runners are definitely the $5.4 million that Timothy Liljegren and David Kampf collectively make, although David Kampf does have some no trade protection to make matters a little bit more difficult. Yeah, that was supposed to be a Dubas thing.
You get a no trade.
Supposed to be a Dubas thing, but Treliving did make that mistake. So we'll see if he can rectify that at some point this season.
All right. It's going to be the Leafs and the Columbus Blue Jackets starting on the other side of the break. We'll send it to Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen, who have the call of the first period. There's 32 games. Oh, no, not 32 games. That'd be crazy. 32
I made that
teams.
mistake earlier.
Yeah, it's hard. 32 teams, 16 games in action. We'll get you to Leafs and Columbus on the other side of the break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
When superstars get moved in the NFL,
the Jets are trading for Devontae Adams.
The lines move.
The Bills say, hold my beer, Amari Cooper.
Sports Grid Radio's experts analyze all the numbers.
The Bills' updated odds to win the AFC went from plus 550 to plus 450.
A 20-1 AFC championship price for the Jets is now shorter by $3.
As the odds change, stay with the experts that can give you a winning edge. On Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the SiriusXM.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. As you can tell, my voice is not getting any better, and it's probably because the Leafs are playing on back-to-back nights. Thanks for joining us for this stream between the Columbus Blue Jackets and our Leafs. The boys travel to Columbus. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that share button as well. Help me out. I got to stop talking. Share it out. Let's get more people here in the chat. It's a lot easier to type right now with this voice. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go.
These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding meat stuff is going to be huge. So, you know, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. You know, but we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Back-to-back games for the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Princes of the Puck Palaces tonight. Dennis Hildeby gets his second NHL start. He won his first and has a 2.02 goals against average, .913 save percentage. Daniil Tarasov is 2-1-0 and has really been the number one starter. Elvis Merzlikins has not played very well to start the season, losing both of his starts. Tarasov 2-1-0, 3.9 or 3.70 goals against average, but an .875 save percentage, as the Columbus Blue Jackets need to get better goaltending if they're going to have any kind of hope of having a decent season. This is a game, though, that has always been a Leafs trap game. Teams that are below them in the standings, below them in talent, and the Leafs sometimes just do not get things rolling early. As we're underway, and the puck goes down into the Columbus zone as it's swept right back in again by McCabe. Tarasov out of the net to stop it. Played up on the wing then by Werenski. A pass comes through center and is brought in over the line by Marchenko. Broken up by the Leafs, but it is into the slot and down into the corner, trying to get it in front of the net. Looked like Hildeby kind of got tangled up and went down and was kind of awkward there at the side of the post, but it didn't get by him.
Yeah, I think he was trying to go to the left post, and they tried to sneak it out short side, and he was just able to trap it. But you're right. I think his head was one way, and fortunately, his right leg was still up against the post.
And 6'7" of him was going in the opposite direction. Now here's Domi trying to flip it ahead. Nylander circles back in his own zone, cuts in front of his own net, then circles back behind his goal and feeds it off to Tanev, who will send it out into neutral ice. McMahon couldn't come up with it. In come the Blue Jackets down into the corner. Olivier trying to work it around back of the net. Got it up on the wing. Leafs are able to knock it free, but can't get it out as it now slides past everyone and comes to center ice. Severson working back into his own zone. Nicely underway in Columbus, Ohio, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, as a pass comes in and Tavares took down his man, Fantilli, but no penalty call there. Tavares shooting it in. Around the boards to the far side. Leafs get pressure into the corner, come out with it with a centering pass by Pacioretty, and just failing to tap that home In front of the net was Tavares. Played out into the center ice area and bounced in wide of Hildeby.
Well, that was Max Pacioretty. We saw last night that quick release towards the net. He does the same thing here, but just throwing it into traffic from the corner without warning it. Didn't even look, just threw it to the front of the net, and Tavares almost cashed in.
Christensen starts back for Columbus. Deflected in over the line. Right wing side, LeBanc with a shot that was deflected wide of the Leaf goal. And the Leafs counter, and now Pontus Holmberg is out. Holmberg up on the right wing side. Steven Lorentz puts the brakes on, eludes one. Drop pass and a shot. That deflects to the net. And Tarasov has got the catching glove on top of it to stop play. With 17 and a half minutes left to play in the first period, we're just underway. No score. TJ Luxmore and Furman South are the referees. Killen McNamara, oh, there's a good Irish name, along with James Tobias are the linesmen here tonight.
It's great to see. I like the thought that Dennis Hildeby gets another start. I know there was some talk that Joseph Wall might be able to go tonight, but for Hildeby, it's also the tough thing about being the number 2 goalie is second start, and the second start that comes after back-to-back games.
Puck down in the Toronto zone. Matthews gets it ahead. Marner breaking, and here comes Nyes in a hurry. Then Marner sent it to the net. Or was he trying to get it to Nyes and it went off a skate? But it ended up making an awkward save for Tarasov.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this goes off the skate. I think that Marner on the 2-on-1, Columbus defense gets trapped deep in the Leaf zone.
Boy, that almost went in.
Throw it to Nyes on the far post. And that goes on. Was that Werenski that it went off of?
I believe so.
Maybe Provorov.
Provorov with the puck for the Blue Jackets. Launched high into the Toronto end. And Christopher Tanev, who was a game star last night and certainly well-deserved. 8 blocked shots. About 5 of them when they were 2 men short. And he has really made quite an impact on not only the team, but the mentality of the team. As it's down into the Toronto zone. Rung around the boards. It'll come to the blue line. Nylander was able to poke it out at center, but Domi couldn't catch up to it. Now the Leafs trying to send it in. McMahon does, but he has a man trapped, and the Leafs have to tag up. Blue Jackets to center. Severson gets it down into the Toronto end. And then a bit of interference there as one of the Leaf defensemen went cartwheeling. That was Timmins, who got nicely slew-footed there. So both teams have had a penalty that has not been called. Back down into the Toronto zone. Around back of the net. Riley gets it up on the wing. Pacioretty's alley-oop pass didn't reach its intended receiver. Robertson now brought in over the line, but pushed back out at center, and the Blue Jackets bring it in over the line. Fantilli trying to slow things up, got it back now, and a pass into the slot area didn't connect. Down the boards comes Juracek, and the Leafs are going to get it freed up on the far boards. Tavares has it up against the wall and is poked back deep into Toronto territory for Ekman Larsson to make a reverse play and play it back of the net. Get things organized. 15-20 left to go in a scoreless first period. McCabe banking it down into the offensive zone. Leafs into the forecheck. A wraparound attempt didn't connect there for Pontus Holmberg, who's back at center ice with David Camp being a healthy scratch, along with Timothy Liljegren and Philip Myers. Played high to center ice, and a 2-on-1 developing here for Columbus. A pass out in front of the goal, and LeBanc had it bounce right over his stick. Played up along the boards and now around to the other side. Kept in at the point by Columbus. They cycle the puck on the far boards. LeBanc trying to come out to the top of the circles. Drops it back to the blue line. Werenski trying to come in with a shot right on. They score! Provorov gets it out in front of the net, and it might be Van Riemsdyk who actually tucks it in after the fact. But the Blue Jackets have jumped to a 1-0 lead.
And for Van Riemsdyk's second goal as a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Good cycling by Columbus. But it was actually Provorov that was able to dodge between Holmberg and Ryan Reeves and take it to the net. Hildeby stops the first one, but the rebound pops out to his left. And James Van Riemsdyk, who has made a living around the crease, sneaks it home, and the Blue Jackets are up by 1.
So the second goal of the season for the former Leaf winger. And the Blue Jackets have started quickly as Marchenko got the puck out at center. The Leafs trying to bring it back in with Jake McCabe. Got it in front of the net, and a quick shot taken by Nyes. And that was stopped. Tarasov is looking for it, thinks he has it in his equipment, but it's behind the net.
It ended up, I think that went up into the screen. And Tarasov is still kind of searching for it. But the Leafs still looking to hit the scoreboard first. I was going to say this before Van Riemsdyk scored. Hildeby doesn't look quite as settled tonight. You know, you mentioned the one where it was a bit of a wraparound and he got caught leading.
Shot in the slot is off the mark wide by Marner. Back of the net. Matthews out with a backhand. Stopped there by Tarasov. Leafs with 4 shots on goal, and the Columbus Blue Jackets with 5. Played to center ice, and now Ekman Larsson has his pass intercepted. Werenski in on the right side, and they score! Justin Danforth sent in, and the quick strike here by the Blue Jackets has the Leafs behind the 8 ball by a score of 2-0.
This is off the rush and the right wing side. Ekman Larsson tries to force it up the middle. It's picked off, and back come the Blue Jackets with numbers. Pass goes to the right wing circle by Zach Werenski, and this is one that you usually want to have, isn't it? Right through the wickets of Dennis Hildeby, right along the ice 5-hole, and very quickly Columbus is up 2-0.
So everything that we talked about very quickly to get this game underway has, in fact, materialized.
Now, one of the things, though, in recent years with Columbus and the trouble they've had, Ilya Samsonov was going through some horrible stretches, and games against Columbus were right in the middle of it.
Leafs with the puck at their own blue line. A saucered pass to the left wing for Domi. Domi tries to work into the slot, but too many Blue Jackets there to break it up, and it is back down into Columbus territory. Blue Jackets organizing. Severson takes the pass and dishes it off on the right wing side. Brought by Adam Fantilli into the zone. He loses an edge and falls. That draws a crowd, and the Leafs have the loose puck, and Tanev playing it out at center ice. Trying to work up the wing now was Robertson. Couldn't get in over the line cleanly, but does to Riley. Riley got a shot away that the right pad. Tarasov slowed up the shot, and then he had to reach around to make sure he got a glove on it to cover it up and hold it for a face-off. 12:35 to go first period, and the Leafs have started in neutral. They trail by a score of 2-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
SiriusXM Triumph. Get real answers with Dr. Laura.
No nonsense advice about relationships, marriage, kids.
Tough love.
It happened is not a phrase anybody uses when they take responsibility.
Inspiration.
Every time you go to bed with a negative thought, you have to match it up with a positive one. That's your new rule.
Dr. Laura. Plus Megyn Kelly, Glenn Beck, Nancy Grace, and Dave Ramsey. All on Triumph.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs hockey game. Please hit that subscribe button down below and help us on our road to 75,000 subscribers. We just passed 50K. This group of Toronto sports fans keeps on growing. Welcome to all of you new folks here in the chat. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and let's get back to the hockey. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for becoming an insider. See you in the chat.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
2-0 Columbus. Van Riemsdyk from Provorov and LeBanc, and then Danforth from Werenski. And it is a 2-0 hill to climb for the Maple Leafs. Puck down in the Columbus zone, snapped around the boards, back of the net, cut off by Jack Johnson. Johnson gets it up on the wing, and the Jackets get it out at center ice. Bouncing puck in over the line, trying to keep it in there was Juracek, and the Leafs get it out, but Juracek intercepts, played it back up on the boards, and it'll be punched back to the Toronto blue line where the Leaf defense is able to get it out at center, and Robertson. A little bit of skating room in over the line. Tried to make a pass on the right wing. That was intercepted. Back come the Blue Jackets. Trying to work in. Nye's got a piece of his man to break it up. And on the left wing side, it's brought out now by Ekman-Larsson. Oliver Ekman-Larsson to center. $5,000 less in his envelope this month after being fined by the National Hockey League for interference. Brought in over the line now into the slot area for Werenski, and a shot is swallowed up by Dennis Hildeby, and he will hold on for a face-off coming in the Columbus zone. The first period brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Remember last year, the Leafs played the Blue Jackets 3 times in 2 weeks. That included a couple of 6-5 losses for the Leafs. He's had some tough times. Really, a Samsonov at the time. One of the games, the Leafs were down 5-0 at home into the third period. Came back and tied it before losing in overtime.
In the last 10 games, the Leafs are 5-1-4 against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Around back of the net, trying to come out with it was Lorentz. He had it knocked away to the side of the goal. It's pushed back into the near corner, and the Blue Jackets will play it out into neutral ice where the Leafs come away with the loose puck, but then turn it over. Brought in on the right wing side. Here's LeBanc trying to get a pass to the left wing side, but it was out of the reach of Sean Corrali, and he'll have to go back and play it back into the center ice area to get reorganized as both teams are trying to orchestrate a change. Played back down into the Toronto zone. Nylander punches it around the boards. That finds Domi. Domi's pass went off a stick. Hammered by Benoit, but not cleared. Benoit ties his man up to allow Timmins back at the net access to it. He comes up the middle, but that was not taken cleanly by Bobby McMahon. And a long shot handled there by Hildeby. Back to the point. Kept in again by Severson. Played off on the left wing side. A shot, and that was stopped by Hildeby. And now it is Domi banking it at center, trying to find McMahon. McMahon one-hands it to the side of the goal, but no one there as Nylander was late getting to the puck. Now Nylander can't keep it in. Riley stood up his man at the blue line. Nylander's back checking. Diligent that it was. Broke up the rush. Brought right back in again now by Columbus. Played around the boards, back of the net. Kutia now back to the point. A long shot. And Hildeby, I don't know if he saw that, but it went off a body in front and sailed into the corner, and the Leafs get clear of it down into Columbus territory.
The Leafs have really been guilty of trying to pass the puck out of the zone and hide, high-risk areas. We saw Max Domi try to go from the right wing corner all the way up the middle of the ice. Bobby McMahon missed it. It was picked off, turned back the other way. We already saw Oliver Ekman-Larsson out of his own zone, had a pass picked off that he was trying to go up the middle. So all the things that we talked about with Craig Berube behind the bench where they simplified their game. It was dump and chase, and we saw it at times last night against Tampa. They're starting to get away from that, and that's sort of maybe being sucked into the mentality that it's Columbus, that we don't have to play as hard. We can beat them with skill alone. And as the Leafs are finding out, you turn the puck over, you're going to be in trouble.
2-0 is trouble. First period, 9:23 to play in it. Puck poked out at center ice, and the Leafs trying to get an odd man rush, but unfortunately, Nick Robertson, as he got by the defenseman, his stick got knocked out of his hands, or they did have a 2-on-1 rush.
I don't think there's a penalty coming up on this either, is there? So the Leafs are staring over Nick Robertson and saying, wait a minute, we got a 2-on-1. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of a one-handed hook, but it certainly was able to break up the 2-on-1.
Well, unfortunately, we won't be able to sort it out till we come back. It is a 2-0 Columbus lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Over to our sideline reporter now with...
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It is time to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Where is Leafs Nation watching this game here on Toronto Sports Insider together? Let us know where you're watching from. Let's see how far out our reach is for Leafs Nation. I'm sure we have Leafs Nation all over the world. Let us know with the emojis, city and state, city and province, and let's get back to the hockey because, dang, I can't talk anymore, man. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to jump in here as much as I can tonight to grace you with my lovely voice during the commercial breaks. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs are 1-2 when they have surrendered the opening goal of the hockey game, but they are 0-1 when they've surrendered the first 2 goals of the hockey game.
It was against the Rangers on Saturday.
Nyes bringing it in, but Matthews had gone in just a half stride early at the blue line, and so it's coming back out into the neutral zone.
Columbus, it's obviously a very difficult season for them, but they also lose Boone Jenner. Had shoulder surgery, could be done for the year. Eric Branson is on IR, is going to miss extended time as well. And even Kent Johnson, who was the one that scored the overtime winner from the 6-5 win last year for Columbus, is out.
Craig Berube coaching in his 550th NHL game. And I'm pretty sure he's not a happy camper right about now. Here's Provorov at the point, dropping it off for Werenski, trying to drive the net. Shot hit the side of the goal. He goes around back of the goal to get it back to the point. Long shot deflected in front of the net, went just wide. Along the near boards, Columbus loses it. Matthews starts out. Matthews coming to center. Backhands into the left wing corner. Nyes on a long shift here, unable to penetrate there to get any forecheck going, and it's cleared high to the Leaf blue line and punched to the near boards for Benoit. Benoit starts back. Leafs are changing. Drops it off for Connor Timmins. Timmins holds, gets it up the middle for Domi. Domi a little elusive move, but then couldn't get it in over the line. Nylander does, but can't penetrate against Jack Christensen. And the Blue Jackets get it out at center ice and launch it down into the Toronto zone. Puck along the boards and back of the net. Played off the wall and out at center, rolling on edge, but won't be enough for icing. That allows the Leafs to come up with the loose puck. Nylander into the slot area. Oh, and Ekman Larsson had it bounce over his stick and wasn't able to deliver a shot, and he was alone. A shot there goes wide of the goal. Pinching down was Domi. Pushed out at center and a possible 2-on-1 in over the line. Now for the Jackets, they score! The glove hand of Dennis Hildeby is beaten by Matthew Olivier, and it is 3-0 Columbus.
Max Domi was down playing the defensive position as Jake McCabe went in on the forecheck. And when the puck got to the blue line, Max Domi made the decision that he was going to challenge. Puck was chipped past him, and there's a 2-on-1 break the other way. But we mentioned Dennis Hildeby very early on in this game. Joe looked like he was fighting it a little bit. And 2 goals now scored on him coming off the wing. And even though the Blue Jackets are out shooting the Leafs 10-5, they probably haven't scored in their 2 best chances. But a 3-0 deficit for the Leafs. And you called it. These were the games that the Leafs found themselves in trouble before in the last few years.
Now, they're not alone. I mean, it's a very good league. And everybody, some people, you don't take that into consideration at times. But it's still a fact of life. Teams that are well below you in the standings, and you're not sort of making hay while the sun shines. And it has been a contentious point for the Maple Leafs over the last number of seasons. Joseph Wall expected or may play, and this game may have a direct result in whether he does or not against St. Louis, which is the next game on the Leafs schedule, which is on Thursday night back at Scotiabank Arena. But he is ready to come back into the fray, and Dennis Hildeby has not done himself any favors here with a 3-0 deficit in the first period.
You do wonder, though, if that plays into his mind, knowing that this might be
it.
And either way, you're going back.
Tavares stood up right at the blue line. Now backhand pass in front, a penalty coming against the
Blue
Jackets, I believe. I don't think it's the hit.
Well, Bobby McMahon had the puck when the whistle went. Is this Pacioretty we're seeing go into the penalty box?
The hit was a good shoulder, and Tavares skated right into it.
We'll let you know who's got the penalty.
We'll have to figure it out when we come back from commercial break. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
We are 7 weeks into the fantasy football season, and whether your team is in the race or ready to make the greatest comeback ever, Fantasy Sports Radio is ready to take you there.
It's more rewarding when you lose your first-round pick and you find a way to win anyway.
From start-sit advice to waiver pickups to so much more.
You got to work the waiver wire. You got to make trades. The draft is just a piece of the puzzle.
Showtime! Make your move with Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Max Pacioretty getting the penalty, and the penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Boy, you wonder how Pacioretty gets that penalty, and when Nick Robertson was hooked onto and lost his stick, there was nothing.
Shot down the ice by the Leafs penalty kill, which at this point in the season is 11th in the National Hockey League, giving up 4 goals on 26 times short. Marner getting it ahead.
Columbus 3 for 14 in the power play this year, which has them 14th in the NHL.
Columbus get it down into the corner. Werenski sends it around to the far side, but it can't be kept in at the point. And it'll go back into the center ice area. Cole Sillinger getting it up on the right wing, and in across the line comes Chinnikov. Back it comes to Chinnikov to the point once more. They play catch with it. Chinnikov down low at the goal line. Back it comes to Chinnikov at the top of the circles. Now the shot from an angle, and that was wide, and it is caromed up into the screen and gone out of play.
And as sharp as Dennis Hildeby was in his first game against the New Jersey Devils, you just see that little bit of hesitation. And like we said, I mean, that might be playing in his mind that, hey, you're going tonight, but by the end of the week, you're going to rejoin the Toronto Marlies. So that makes things, it's a little more difficult to prepare for it.
Yep.
Not to make an excuse. Not only is it the first time the Leafs have given up 3 goals in a period, first time they've given up 3 goals in a game this season.
Brought to center now by Matthews. Flipped in, a bouncing puck for Nyes. Nyes to Matthews, and there's going to be a penalty here to Columbus.
The big body of Matthew Nyes driving into the Columbus zone and tried to pull up inside it back to Austin Matthews, who would have had a great opportunity, but... And is it Severson going to go, the defenseman, former New Jersey Devil? Yeah, as he puts the clamp on Matthew Nyes, so a little bit of 4-on-4 action before the Leafs will go on a brief power play.
Penalty comes at 15-13 of the first period. That has been the worst of the season for the Maple Leafs to this point.
It's funny for the Leafs,
Lots
Joe.
of game to come, though.
Yes, but the Leafs have scored 20 goals on the year, 10 of them in 3 periods. They had 3 in the first against Jersey, 3 in the first against Los Angeles, and 4 in the second last night against Tampa.
Robertson taking the draw, but lost it, and Werenski stands at the side of the Columbus goal, playing it up at center. And possibly offside at the blue line, I think, as a long stretch pass intended for Fantilli is whistled down. Lots of Leaf fans, you can see in behind the Leaf bench and in the arena in Columbus, I'm sure, having made the trip. A pretty easy trip to get down there. Short drive from Southern Ontario. Long pass up on the left wing. 4-on-4 hockey here as it goes around the boards. Danforth, who has a goal and an assist, flipped high into the far corner, and McCabe is there to settle it down. A pass up ahead for Domi. Domi's side comes through center, works to the line and in on the left wing, dropping it back for Riley. Morgan Riley into the slot, works to the right wing side, played it down into the corner. 2 Leafs almost collided there. Nylander was crossing and Domi almost ran into him. Now back comes Werenski, and a pass in front, and that was stopped on a good pad save made by Hildeby. Puck back in the Leaf zone and no one there, and here's a chance for Monahan, and he tried to come out from the corner but was stopped. Now Matthews. Leafs on the power play. 55 seconds left in it as Marner works back towards the blue line. Fed over on the near side for Nylander. Nylander looking back, goes down into the corner. Marner with it, looking in front for Tavares, goes to Matthews, back to Marner. Marner runs into difficulties. Matthews goes to help. So does Tavares. It comes out in front, and Marner lost the handle on it, and the Blue Jackets get an easy clear. Oliver Ekman-Larsson coming out of his own end. Plays it back now for Nylander. Nylander with a pair of goals last night. Got it in over the line. A pass back in, redirected there by Matthews. Went just wide. Tavares around the boards. Doesn't get it to Marner. Shot down the ice by Columbus. And that will do it for the abbreviated power play for the Maple Leafs as they are 0 for 1. Down 3. To the line. Brought in offside. The play bogged down. And when Steven Lorenz finally brought it in, Pontus Holmberg was offside, so they'll bring it back out into the center ice area with 2:42 left to play in the first period. And goals coming from Van Riensdijk, Danforth, and Olivier have built the 3-0 Columbus lead in the first period. And if there's any paint left on the walls in the dressing room at the end of this period, I'd be surprised. Shot down into the Columbus zone. Fed around the boards. Benoit trying to get it freed up. A shot by Lorentz is an easy chest save made there by the Columbus goalkeeper.
And really,
Tarasov will bring a face-off.
Yeah, Tarasov really hasn't been tested.
Hasn't been a decent shot on goal. No.
2:30 to go. The Leafs being outshot 13-6. Kevin LeBanc, by the way, who had an assist on the goal by James Van Riemsdyk to start. 8 seasons with the San Jose Sharks. Goes to New Jersey on a PTO. Leads the NHL in preseason and goals scored with 6, including a hat trick. Uses that to sign in Columbus. Did sign for the league minimum, but
got a job out of it. Leafs win the draw, and a wrist shot went wide of the net. Riley traps the rebound on the left wing boards. Tried to send it to the net. It was deflected wide. Now Nyes had to go off his skate, and out come the Blue Jackets to center. Full of life here as Olivier sends it down into the Leaf zone. Hildeby couldn't trap it back of the net. The Leafs get it along the boards, but don't get it out. Played around back of their goal by the Blue Jackets. And now Nylander on the near wall punches it to the blue line, and it's forced out at center ice there by Connor Timmins. Right back in now, and a shot taken into the chest by Hildeby off the stick of Justin Danforth to stop play and bring a face-off in the Toronto zone. And I would think Hildeby has got to go absolutely perfect from here on in.
Yeah.
To have any kind of hope of a comeback.
Now, even though some of the shots off the wing, you would like to have saves off those, you're giving up chances off the rush, and most of them have come over turnovers. Like we said, even the third goal by Olivier, it ends up Jake McCabe gets caught deep, and Max Domi decides he's going to pinch, replacing him at the blue line, which led to the 2-on-1.
Puck in the Toronto zone, controlled by the Blue Jackets. Minute and a half to go in the period. And out comes Bobby McMahon with a pass off on the wing, and Ekman Larsson gets it to the line and in as Domi sends it around into the left wing corner. Grabbed off there, and in hustling after it was Marner. He couldn't come up with it. Neither could Bobby McMahon. Puck comes through center, and it's going to be shot down into the Toronto zone. Bounced away from Hildeby.
Some line changes here as we've got McMahon with Marners and Matthews.
Now, in across the line comes Matthews. Matthews drops for Marner. Marner circles, works it back to the blue line. McCabe doesn't shoot it. And then when he did, it was high over top of the net. And the Blue Jackets will work it out on the left wing side and play it out at center ice. Benoit chipped it back, but cut off there by Severson, who works in over the line. Pat works down into the corner. Leafs unable to come up with it. Back to the point. Kept in there at the blue line. Trying to work down the boards with Severson. Onto the right wing side for Christensen. And a shot deflected just wide of the Leaf goal. Just kept in at the blue line. Bouncing puck in front. And covered up by Dennis Hildeby with 34 seconds left in the period.
Now you're at a point where a bad bounce against could put this game away. As another point shot, throw it to the net. It's redirected in front of Dennis Hildeby. Didn't really react to it until it hit him. He had no idea.
Not a clue.
He's actually still on his feet when it hit him, and then he butterflied and was able to get his glove on it before a Blue Jacket player could poke it in.
15-6, the Leafs have been outshot in this period. Panev poking the puck along the boards, got it to the line, not out, long shot, gloved by Hildeby. He'll stop play with 23.9 seconds left in the period. He was outstanding in the game against New Jersey, but it has been a struggle here in the first 20 minutes in Columbus.
Well, it's safe to say, the team hasn't been as sharp tonight either as they were in New Jersey. In fact, easily the Leafs' softest period of the season.
There's a shot blocked in front of the Toronto goal. Countered with a pass up on the wing. Lorenz couldn't get it in, and so the Blue Jackets send it right back into the Toronto zone. Far corner now for Reeves. Reeves plays it around into the empty corner, and the final seconds will tick down on a huge start for the Columbus Blue Jackets, who get goals from Van Riemsdyk, Danforth, and Olivier, and have a 3-0 lead after period number 1.
They got back to what's made them successful early in the season. Trying to force plays up the middle, get pucks deep. Let's bring out the cliche book, pucks deep, win the one-on-one battles, get pucks through, and get traffic in front. The Leafs did not do a lot of that in the opening 20.
And I wish I was a fly on the wall in the dressing room for a few moments.
I don't think you do.
No, I might get swatted.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to ship it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert as the Maple Leafs trail 3-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Quiet your mind, reduce your stress, and rest easy with channels designed to help you fall asleep easier and faster. Sink into the comforting white noise of a storm shower on Rainfall Radio. Fade out to the soothing sounds of the Sleep Channel, or drift off to nature sounds with Forest Dreams. Find them all in the Sirius XM app, included in all trials and popular plans.
Hey, Insiders. Thank you all so much for helping me create this amazing Leafs community. Absolutely insane to think that this time last season we had 4,700 subscribers, and last night we passed 50,000. We are on the road to 100K. We're going to get that plaque. That's what set this Dad of 4 out on this mission to bring together the best Toronto sports fan club in the world, and we're doing just that. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and being a part of this amazing, amazing community and helping us make a difference with the real world by making donations to SickKids Hospital together as a community. And every single video that we do, every single Leafs game, every single Blue Jays game, every single MLB playoff game, we're making a difference with SickKids Hospital. Thank you all so much. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, you know, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stiller. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. You know, but we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding Meat Scott's going to be huge. So, you know, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert for your intermissions. The Leafs trail 3-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets in what was a very different 20 minutes than the 60 we saw last night, in a bad way.
Yeah, the idea that everything has changed for the positive for the Leafs.
We're going to have to back that up a
not
bit.
Like entirely there. That was not, I don't know. It's not really fair to be like, oh, that's so Leafs, because every team has these issues
like
where
a
they
letdown
play
game.
Second halves of back-to-backs, letdowns. That was definitely a letdown period, though, without question.
Mm-hmm.
A letdown period for the Maple Leafs. And maybe the biggest letdown, actually, that's not fair, because the whole team played pretty poorly.
Were you going to say Dennis Hildeby?
No, I was just saying for the first time this season, the Leafs had a goal, they were like, oh, that's not supposed to go in. Like Stolarz has been so perfect for the most part this entire year. And Hildeby was great in his start, or at least really good in his start. That's the first time you've seen it in a while where you'd really not want to see that second goal go in, but it goes in. It's further deflating after that first goal, and the Maple Leafs can't recover in time before it's 3-0 for the Blue Jackets. So not a great start here for the Maple Leafs, not a great start for Hildeby, but you really can't pinpoint anyone who played well in that period.
No, you definitely can't, unless you're a Columbus Blue Jackets fan. But if you feel for Hildeby, and I know Ralphie was talking a little bit about it, like he's called up for this start. Who knows how many more he'll get after this, because most likely Joseph Woll is coming in. But he's also got a lot of expectations for Hildeby himself. Like last year, there's a lot of times where the Leafs could have put Hildeby in, right? But then they got Martin Jones, and they just never wanted to give him an NHL start. And then this year, they ripped the Band-Aid and gave him an NHL start right away. And it was like, okay, maybe we're going to see what this Hildeby guy is all about. And then, unfortunately, to have a pretty brutal start to this game isn't great. I think they'll probably still come out with him in the second. 3-0 is not the biggest deficit to climb for the Maple Leafs against the Blue Jackets, but you don't want to have to rely on Stolarz too much. We talked about this in our show. Like he's done really, really great for you to start this season, but he doesn't have the longest track record of being the guy always, right? You don't want to overdo it. You want to just keep him in this happy bubble that he's in. So I would expect we'll see Hildeby moving forward, and hopefully they can clean this up and get back in the game, 3-0, as we mentioned. But yeah, of course, it's JVR that gets the first goal of the game. I might have had a first goal scorer JVR ticket that cashed on that one. But it was just a sloppy start all around. A lot of poor defensive play that led to Dennis Hildeby being in a position where he doesn't make the save. You can't pinpoint just Dennis Hildeby, but I know OEL was out of position on one of them on the 2-on-1. Just a couple things that they need to clean up. And after last night where everyone's coming onto Twitter and talking about it on Leafs Talk, like everybody was fired up about that team. It was a start to finish masterclass. This is an F.
Far from it. Yeah. far from a masterclass. There are positives, though, that you could not from that period necessarily. But I was thinking last night, late in the game, start taking penalties. There's a 5-on-3. And like you don't want to close the game exactly as the Maple Leafs did, despite it being a very, very good period and game all around for the Lightning. But I felt it's better even to have to go through the end of game there where you gave up some power play and you had to fight through it, and everyone kind of feels good because you get like a stress-free rep. Well, this isn't a stress-free rep because Craig Berube might explode right now in the intermission. But the positive would be, okay, he gets to really ream into his guys, right? Like if you're thinking about how Craig Berube is going to be different, Craig Berube gets to do the thing that makes him different right now.
I'm excited to see how they come out.
Absolutely, tear into his troops. And if they come back with a response, then you're going to feel even better about how good a lot of people feel about Berube because he has made a difference. So maybe the first objective not passed here with Berube having his team ready, but maybe they can answer his call for the second period, at least play better, and you can see some of that response. If you don't see a response, then you're going to be like, okay, we're going to be rethinking everything. A response here would definitely play into, hey, Craig Berube is having a really good effect right now. So we'll see what happens in the second.
Yeah, first bit of real adversity and a poor period for the Maple Leafs. So they've got 40 minutes to respond. We'll take a quick break. We'll give you some more thoughts and the out-of-town scoreboard. So, Justin, get ready. It's a long one.
Hydrating.
On the other side of the break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Fall for Subaru by enjoying fall to the fullest. Think scarlet, burgundy, amber, crimson and copper, but never blue. Because with Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, fall is for thick, dark mud splats, terracotta mountain roads, radiant sunsets, kaleidoscopic leaf carpets, and the boldest of adventures. Avoid autumn blues and visit your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deeks.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Craig. Craig likes it warm. Craig loves 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Craig doesn't understand Fahrenheit. But Craig does like to save money when he's at work. Craig also cares about his carbon footprint. He's so thoughtful, that Craig.
With SmartFlow from Enbridge Sustain, you won't have to think about your HVAC, but it will always be thinking of you. For a limited time, sign up and get up to $1,000 in bill credits and apply for up to $3,000 in rebates. Learn more at EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Nylander closing in a goal! Charge!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trail 3-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets after 20 minutes. And I'm going to give you as much time as possible to tell us about all 16 games in the NHL tonight, the Frozen Frenzy. This NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca. Go.
It's a frenzy, and it's in fact frozen. Okay, let's go down the staggered leaderboard or scoreboard as it stands right now. Capitals up 4-1 over the Flyers. The Wild have a 5-1 lead over the Panthers. A lot of scoring. Lightning 5-2 over the Devils. Sabres holding a 2-0 lead over the Stars, and the Rangers have a 4-1 lead over the Canadiens. Still in the first period. Red Wings 1-0 over the Islanders, and the Blues hold a 1-0 lead over the Jets. Still to come tonight, 8 more games must get underway. Canucks and Blackhawks, Avalanche and Kraken, Bruins and Predators in a big one, Hurricanes and Oilers, Senators and Utah, Penguins and Flames, Sharks, Ducks, and lastly, the Kings and Golden Knights.
Whew! We did a 16-team parlay that I can tell you is looking very poor.
It's not going well.
Yes, and one of those teams
was a content piece.
It was for fun. It was for fun. One of those teams was the Maple Leafs, and I did not expect them to get out to a 3-0 deficit. But as we mentioned, Craig Berube probably went in there and told them he was not happy with that performance. So we'll see how they come out to start the second period. Probably shot out of a cannon, like they do in Columbus.
There you go.
That's it. Parallels.
There you go.
I could be a head coach.
I don't know if wordplay is the number one requirement.
The guys would be like, that's a great pun, coach. I don't think so. All right, Jim, Ralph, and Joe Bowen will have the call the second period for you next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Beginning Friday, MLB Network Radio gets you closer to the World Series on Sirius XM.
The Stars are going to have an opportunity to shine this World Series.
Mookie Betts and the Dodgers.
The first thing was understanding how hard it is to get here.
Aaron Judge and the Yankees.
Come out here and punch our ticket to the World Series. It's just unbelievable.
Before and after every game, hear on-field interviews and expert analysis through the last out of the World Series.
It's going to be an epic series.
On Channel 89.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. will find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Maurizio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound, Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
3-0 in favor of the Columbus Blue Jackets after the first period in Ohio, and the Maple Leafs outshot 15-6 in the first period. So, needless to say, there is room for improvement.
Well, needless to say, we'll go to the cliche rule book.
Oh, I love that. How many pages is it?
It's probably how many volumes are there? Next goal is a big one.
One per team, one per sport, one per, yeah, exactly.
Now, one of the wins that Columbus has had this year was in Colorado. The Avalanche got off to that tough start, but they had a 6-4 win in Colorado. They won 6-4 at home against the Buffalo Sabres. So even with all the injuries and being in rebuild mode, the Columbus Blue Jackets have had games where they found the back of the net. But between the shots on goal, obviously don't lie. 15-6 is domination. I would say the second and third goals from Hildeby's standpoint, you would always think that if it's a clear shot coming off the wing, you should be able to get set square and take up most of the net. But unfortunately for Hildeby, a couple of those get past them. And let's face it, the performance of Anthony Stolarz last night, combined with the performance of Andrei Vasilevsky, that's the difference in the game.
And
again,
right now,
and even when the Leafs had 5 goals on 15 shots or 16 shots at one point, and Anthony Stolarz was outstanding. So goaltending a big part of the last couple of nights for the Leafs.
So the Maple Leafs will try to see if they can claw back into this game, down 3-0 and being outshot 15-6 after the first 20 minutes. And the Leafs will defend the goal to the left and the Jackets to the right. As we're set for the face-off, the puck is dropped and we're underway. Marner broke up one rush, grabbed off by Marchenko and shot into the Toronto zone. Hildeby out of the cage to pump it back along the boards. It'll get to a crowd on the wing before it is lifted high to the line and out, and then quickly shot right back in again. Leafs get it out this time with some move. And it's Matthews across the line on the wing with a shot. That was whistled just wide of the net. Kept in by Marner. Tried to get it in for Nyes, but it was blocked. Back into the center ice area. Here's a pass for Marner, but out of his reach. The goaltender after it as he punches it away from Marner's forecheck. And it'll be played out at center ice now by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Off on the wing. That hits a skate. Brought right back in over the line by Morgan Riley. Fed in wide of the goal. And the trick here now is not to try to take too many chances to get back in the game all at once. You need to chip away, get one before you can get 3. Right back down into the zone it goes for Tavares. Chopped along by the goaltender back of the net. Tavares couldn't get to it. Neither could Robertson, and it's back out at center ice again. Now the Jackets get it down into the zone. A centering pass knocked away, and Robertson starts back for Toronto. Nick Robertson in on the left wing for Tavares. Tavares with not much to do and not much option to do anything other than shoot it at the net, and it's a fairly easy save for Daniel Tarasov, and a faceoff coming in the Columbus zone.
That's exactly what the Leafs have to do. They get to the blue line, they dump it in, go after it, throw the puck on net even from a bad angle. We saw the Pacioretty goal last night on Vasilevsky, which seemed like a low danger opportunity, but get it to the net, and hopefully something happens. But you're right. You got to get away from that. Hey, let's turn this into a track meet and see if we can get back into it.
On the boards, McCabe pinches down on the right wing side, trying to free it up. It comes out in front of the net. No one home to take advantage. And Putia gets it out at center ice, and the Leafs have it at their own blue line. Playing it back for McCabe. He'll ring the boards around to the far side. Nylander coming through neutral ice. Gets to the line and in. Just poked it over on the boards, but his winger, or maybe it was Domi, was kind of stationary there as he was straddling the blue line and nowhere near getting the puck. And now Columbus has iced it. And it'll come back now for a face-off in the Blue Jacket zone, and the Leafs will make a change.
Leafs do win this draw. They've won 59% of the draws so far in this game, but that's going to be a key factor as well. And yeah, it was Domi and Fantilli kind of went shoulder to shoulder on the far boards, and Fantilli won the battle. I think Domi was trying to...
Centering pass, then Matthews fanned on it as it comes out from the corner, trying to extend a 9-game scoring streak against Columbus is Austin Matthews. Now here's Timmins getting it back to the point. Near side for Matthews, top of the circle, a pass back into the slot area. Marner is able to corral it. Marner into the high slot with a shot. That's blocked. The rebound. Another shot. Stopped in and went wide of the net as Nyes fed it wide of the goal. Great. Really the first real good scoring chance the Leafs have engineered. Back comes Christensen, though, with a shot. It's rolling to the goal line. And Hildeby reached back with that 6'7" frame and was able to find it. Not nearly as spectacular as the save that Stolarz made last night.
No, but I mean,
it was behind him.
But here's another opportunity off the wing, and Hildeby struggles with it. It just seems to squeeze, does it not, between his glove and his left pad, and starts trickling towards the goal line. It was really stationary by the time he turned around and laid on it.
Not enough of it, not all of it. Werenski off a face-off win to the point, and the shot went wide of the net, and Hildeby seemed to be lunging the wrong way there for a moment.
Yeah, this is going to be a test for Hildeby to try to battle through this.
Played out at center ice. The Leafs unable to come up with the loose puck. And now they do. And McCabe turns in his own zone. And now Tanev looks to make a pass ahead and does. Brought on in across the line. And offside is called as Pontus Holmberg was trying to bring it in. I think Steve Lorenz may have preceded the play just by a half a stride. And so it'll be brought back into the center ice area with 16:52 to go here in the second period. Couple of good chances down low by Nyes, but goaltender Tarasov was equal to the test.
And boy, Nyes had a lot of time and space, didn't he, from right out front? But because he was standing still, Tarasov was able to come out and challenge him.
Tavares wins the draw. Tanev shoots the puck in for the Maple Leafs. Blue Jackets into the far corner. Robertson unable to get to it, but a good block by Tavares, but the Leafs couldn't take advantage of the turnover, and now brought in over the line by Fantilli. A shot off on the left wing as Chinnikov got that shot away. It comes back to the point. Corrali with a drive that goes over top of the goal. Puck around back of the net now. Played up on the wing, and now Robertson starts down the right wing. He'll chip it in, and racing in there after it is Pacioretty. He gets it back towards the point, but it is cut off, and the Blue Jackets will skate it out into the center ice area. A drop pass now for Chinnikov. He centers it in front of the net. Good play by Pacioretty to come back. A couple of shots stopped there by Hildeby close to the goal crease area. Kept in by Christensen at the point. He has it right in the middle as he sends it off on the wing. And Hildeby somehow has got that tangled up in his equipment, but not in the net. But he looked extraordinarily awkward there trying to get across.
Yeah, this is another one where he sort of squares up and then falls away from the post, hoping that he's got the puck trapped somewhere in his body.
And then his arms reach out
to keep himself.
Got a wingspan that he can touch both posts anyway and push himself away from sliding into the net.
But I tell you something, this is something both teams know. I mean, Columbus is now starting to fire from everywhere, knowing that Hildeby is having his struggles. And, you know, from a Leaf standpoint, boy, are they going to say that, boy, if they're looking at that shot might have gone in. Now, if you're Craig Berube, can you say, hey, wait a minute, the puck was already dropped. The play continued.
Yep.
But they might be looking at that last opportunity from the corner for Columbus to see if the puck crossed the goal line. Now, you would think the Blue Jackets video guys might have been all over this first.
Well,
but
yeah,
this
seems to be a league stoppage.
We're going to have to see it again. We did not see a replay that showed the puck anywhere close to the goal line. But but this wasn't a challenge.
No, this was the horn went. I don't know where you're going to see it there. I can't see it. I don't recall this. And you don't see the puck in the net from the side view of it. Now the overhead.
Okay, so
first off, you can't see the puck. So it's in. No, it's not in. Well, we don't know if it's in. And now they have.
Now they're going over to the Columbus bench.
Oh, both benches,
officials.
I think.
And since you're going to the Columbus bench first, well, now there's
the other official is over talking to Craig Berube and the Leafs.
I mean, technically, the puck is dropped.
And play started.
Yeah.
And then
before
the
horn went. So, now it might be, is it under his right skate? And over the goal line, you can't see it.
No.
Oh, there it is.
No, it's not under his skate. No goal. No goal in the face-off outside, and they'll readjust the clock to 15:43. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, where the league stopped play.
Yeah.
Because it was the horn, unless, even the video replay people in Columbus might have wired down, but usually it's the team that thought they might have scored would be asking for a review.
So they'll face it off outside the blue line. And the draw scrum, chipped to the line and poked into the Toronto zone. Nylander gets back after it to get it into the corner to Timmins. Lead pass at center, looking for Bobby McMahon, didn't connect. And the Blue Jackets send it right back down into the Toronto zone. Timmins poking it up the boards, but not far enough to find a loose man. And then Domi is able to skate back in his own zone and slides a pass nowhere near anyone as it comes out at center. And Nylander has to retrace his steps to try to gain possession, but then a turnover and a wrist shot blocked in front of the net by Benoit, who turned the puck over, and it's cleared back out at center ice.
Now, in fairness, Joe, we have seen where, say, shots have hit the middle bar and come out, and play is continued. And the goal has been called because they saw the video, but obviously they didn't see the puck go into the net.
No.
And still stopped play for it, which was odd.
There's Matthews trying to drag it out from behind the goal. Had it go into the corner for Marner. Marner and Matthews after it. Marner tries to center. That's blocked. Matthews getting it back along the boards. Getting hit from behind there by Werenski. And the puck comes free. And the Blue Jackets are going to get it out. Pass in on the right wing side. Trying to drive the net with a shot. Big rebound and they score! Sean Monahan had a 4x6 to deposit it, and there is no question about this one. Marchenko came down, took the shot. It went off the blocker, and then a 4x6 staring the Columbus Blue Jacket player in the eyes, and it's 4-0.
And this is 3 of the 4 goals coming off the rush. This time, Hildeby, shot comes from the right wing circle. Goes off the blocker of Hildeby and directly out towards the left wing circle. And that's where Sean Monahan picks it up and snaps it into the empty net. And this lead now for the Blue Jackets has grown to 4. And you would certainly think, because it's the second of back-to-back games, you're not making a goaltending change in this one.
No, I agree. Not coming in cold and everything else. I don't think they need Anthony Stolars to come in and get hurt because of all of this. So Dennis Hildeby, who probably saw the TTC ticket in his locker about heading back to the Marlies when Joseph Wall was healthy, is finding himself under siege a little bit. I mean, he's been outshot 21-9, but there have been 2, maybe 3 of the goals with a bit of an odor to them.
Yeah, I mean, even this one is not a great rebound, is it?
No.
You know, when you're on, I think you're able to control that, keep it in front of you. Having said that, like we said, I mean, it's chances off the rush.
And a centering pass here by Pacioretty is swallowed up by Tarasov. And a faceoff coming in the Columbus zone. Blue Jackets with a 4-0 lead over the Maple Leafs. 13:49 to go, second period. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Visit ConnexOntario.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. As you can tell, my voice is not getting any better, and it's probably because the Leafs are playing on back-to-back nights. Thanks for joining us for this stream between the Columbus Blue Jackets and our Leafs. The boys travel to Columbus. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that share button as well. Help me out. I got to stop talking. Share it out. Let's get more people here in the chat. It's a lot easier to type right now with this voice. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you back in the chat. Go Leafs, go.
Industrial Supply Specialists? The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Got it into the slot now for Knies, who scores!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Second period brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that is really big on care. And the Maple Leafs insurance in goal has not been very good here tonight, as they trail in the game 4-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Like we said last year, 2 of the wins Columbus had, or both wins that Columbus had over Toronto, were 6-5.
Well, there's a lot of room for improvement on that. Here's Tavares working in front of the net. Got a shot away, and it was just off the short side, wide of the goal. Back to the point. Another pass into the slot area that Robertson couldn't get to. Couldn't lift the stick of the defenseman. Leafs are able to knock it down. Pacioretty can't do anything with it. And it's brought back at center ice now by Columbus. Broken up by Morgan Riley and bounced slowly down into Columbus territory. Doesn't go far enough for icing, and Juracek gets back there, and then Robertson takes him down, and there's going to be a penalty to the Maple Leafs.
This is a dive, though. And Robertson got his stick in front of the Columbus player, but Juracek just all of a sudden the legs.
2-minute minor. Hook in.
The legs straight, and down he goes. Is Juracek hitting one as well?
Embellishing, yeah. So both players are going to the box.
And you know what? It was actually Juracek held onto the stick of Nick Robertson, clamped onto the stick, make sure that it stayed in front of him, and then he dove. So this is, I'll give the officials full marks on this. This is the perfect call for it.
So there will be 4-on-4 hockey here.
I think if you get called for diving in the NHL, you should be forced to put on a different colored helmet for the rest of the game.
Now, there is an idea.
The shame. Wear the shame for the rest of the game.
Yeah. Hey, we had to do that when we were at school, that dunce hat. Sitting in the corner, talk about being embarrassed. Here, the Blue Jackets in across the line with a shot that is gloved by Hildeby.
Now, do you think that was a thing? Was that really a thing that they put that cone, that
Yes!
dunce hat on?
I'm old enough to remember it.
Jeez. Imagine
I wore it proudly a couple of days.
you imagine trying that nowadays?
Hey,
wow.
son, how was your day at school? Not bad. Had to wear a hat in the corner.
Get a lawyer.
Get a lawyer. I'm going in to talk to the teacher. Yeah, right. That never happened either. You were guilty as charged, and things got worse when you got home. Well, Blue Jackets can't keep the puck in at the blue line, and they'll send it back into their own zone to regroup here on this 4-on-4. Pass off a skate. Doesn't get into the Toronto end. Bouncing disc to the near side. And it's played back into the zone, and Sean Monahan will drop it off for Provorov, who sends a lead pass at center for Zach Werenski, and the linesman has blown the play dead on an offside at the Toronto blue line.
You know, Zach Werenski is the 4th highest paid defenseman in the National Hockey League. Behind only, I guess it's pretty easy to figure out, Erik Karlsson is the highest paid with Pittsburgh, then Drew Doughty with the Kings. Rasmus Dahlin, the Buffalo Sabres, is the 3rd highest paid.
Sabres defense is all first-round draft picks, and they have not really materialized into what they would think would be a dominant defense corps. Now, Nyes dropping it back. Ekman Larson centering. Nyes with a backhand that was knocked away, and it's cleared out at center ice, forcing Morgan Rielly back into his own zone. Rielly skates it up on the right wing side with some room and in over the line into the slot area. Works to the left wing side. Centers in front. Big save. Here's Nylander skating right past the net. Never did deliver a shot.
Well, I think he was going to shoot and then thought he was going to maybe outweight Tarasov and Deke.
And did neither. Puck down back in the Toronto zone. Best scoring chance maybe for the Leafs right there. You know, Nylander working in across the line. 1-on-2, and the puck rolls free and goes into the goal crease area where Tarasov will stop play and bring a face-off in the Columbus Blue Jacket zone.
You would have thought that might be where the Leafs would have an advantage playing 4-on-4, but just 1 second left in the penalties. And we saw this when the Leafs were down 5-0 to Columbus last year and were able to come back and force it to overtime. It was the big boys that came through, and this is one of those games where you need your top players to start to dominate this game.
Nyes had the best chance, but a good pad save by Tarasov stopped that. Tanev at the point with a shot that deflects off a body and goes wide of the net. Curling out is Tavares. His centering pass, that was deflected towards the side of the net, but not on goal. Robertson is out of the penalty box now, and so they're back to 5-on-5. The Leafs are being outshot 22-12 and outplayed and unfortunately out-goaltended, which is the major thing. And now a hit in the corner. And either the cameraman has been hit.
I think the door might have come open.
Or the glass.
Yeah, you're right.
Cameraman was there.
The glass.
He took that right on the. And so the glass has been punched right out. And we're going to have a break here as they have to do some repair work.
Now, what's the history of the Blue Jacket? Go.
Well, let me tell you, Mr. Ralph, because as you know, I am a Civil War buff.
Yes.
And the Union Army back in the Civil War, of course, a lot of generals, including Ulysses S. Grant and William Tecumseh Sherman, were native Ohioans. And so they, of course, were the Union Blue, and so they ended up wearing the blue uniforms. And the Columbus Blue Jackets, in honoring that part of American history, wore the blue jerseys, and also have imported a cannon to augment that thing.
Yeah,
good. We can go to a break now. Anything else you'd like to know?
Yeah, did Columbus discover Columbus? We could talk about that.
We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
I'm Billy Joel. We've got stories about my songs and lots more on the Billy Joel channel.
Now, for a limited time,
Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
I lit the...
Hey, Insiders. Thank you all so much for helping me create this amazing Leafs community. Absolutely insane to think that this time last season we had 4,700 subscribers, and last night we passed 50,000. We are on the road to 100K. We're going to get that plaque. That's what set this dad of four out on this mission to bring together the best Toronto sports fan club in the world, and we're doing just that. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and being a part of this amazing, amazing community and helping us make a difference with the real world by making donations to SickKids Hospital together as a community. And every single video that we do, every single Leafs game, every single Blue Jays game, every single MLB playoff game, we're making a difference with SickKids Hospital. Thank you all so much. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
Kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM and the Leafs Radio Network.
I don't know where the cameraman is from, but he has a T-shirt on or a sweatshirt that says, "We are Lucas." So I'm assuming Lucas High School is somewhere in the Columbus, Ohio area. And to answer your question, Columbus did not discover Columbus, but he did see the Plymouth Rock, I think.
I'm just glad with the glass being popped out and having time to kill, I thought of that to make you feel it up.
You know that I've used that story probably every time that we actually got to go to Columbus and hear the cannon go off about the Civil War stuff.
Well, the funniest one was
when
years
you have a hobby.
Yeah, years ago when we were actually in Columbus for the All-Star game. Remember, that was when they still had that format, and the score was, 16-12 or whatever?
Yeah, they ran out of ammunition.
But it just scares the hell out of you when you hear the cannon go off.
You know it's coming.
Yeah. Finally, they stopped doing it after every goal.
Yeah, when they ran out of ammunition. Yeah. Played around the boards. Leafs keep it into the Columbus zone as we're back underway after a quick repair work done on the cameraman and the plexiglass. Columbus gets it out, shot back in again by Toronto. It ends up on the mesh, and a whistle here will stop play and bring a face-off with 10:21 to go in the second period. So, first half of this game has been a dog's breakfast, and a lot of it is on your living room floor. And now, can they turn things around in the second half of the game and maybe make a game of it?
You almost wonder if we jinxed it. You said early on, before the first goal of the game, the Leafs have generally struggled in games like this against teams that you think you should handle rather easily. And I followed it up by saying, Dennis Hill to me, I don't think looks sharp here in the early going. And unfortunately, we've both been right.
Meanwhile, now here's a centering pass in front, knocked into the glove of Tarasov. What a chance that was at the side of the net for Austin Matthews.
Boy, Matthews' first attempt as he was off the back post. First attempt got stopped low. And it comes after the Leafs win the draw. Matthews goes right to the front of the net. And the first one goes off the pad of Tarasov, pops up into the air, and just as Matthews went to bat it out of midair, Tarasov grabbed it.
Leafs win the faceoff, and a point shot was stopped. The rebound is drilled into Tarasov and hell. But just to bring you up to date on some of the other, this isn't Halloween, is it?
Wow.
No. Okay.
But
well,
some of the other games.
Minnesota leading Florida 5-1. The Tampa Bay Lightning over New Jersey 6-2. The Rangers leading the Canadiens 5-2. And Washington leading the Flyers 4-1. So there's lots of goal scoring and lots of lopsided results going on here on the busiest night of the season in the NHL. Jackets get it down into the Toronto zone. Pushed along the boards. Sillinger unable to get to it. The Leafs just play it out at center. A bouncing puck that is maintained and played out into the center ice area for Sean Monahan. In on the right side, Monahan heads to the front of the net, but the pass was behind him. He'll play it around the boards, though, to find his defenseman. Sillinger on the far side. Played back in behind the net. Monahan tries to sweep it in front. That is blocked. Look out. Morgan Riley had the bomb doors opened on him there a little bit as Sillinger was coming down after him, but he manages to get the puck out and down into Columbus territory. Provorov over on the far side. Sillinger starting out, had his pocket picked. Here's a chance for Max Domi in, and that was lifted from behind. Sillinger got back to lift Domi's stick just at the last second. Tanev is knocked down at the blue line, and they're going to call this offside.
You know, very close to being a hook because the stick got into the hands of Domi. I mean, it was a great play as Sillinger tracked him down after it was Sillinger actually that turned the puck over. But this, to me, that's right into the hands. And I'm not saying that this should automatically be a penalty, but for the most part,
yeah, the hook came up on the hands, didn't it? But when you give the puck away, you usually turn into the fastest guy on the ice.
And strongest.
Yep, long shot on Hildeby is handled, and there'll be a face-off in the Toronto zone. With 8 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the second period, and the Leafs down 4-love. They return home and host the St. Louis Blues on Thursday. And that will be an interesting reunion for Craig Berube. After leading the Blues to the Stanley Cup. Puck out into the center ice area and brought into the line just onside, but unable to maintain possession was Domi. And it is cleared out into the center ice area and down into the Leaf end. In goes Benoit. Got some assistance from Tanev at the point. A long shot deflects into the far corner. Benoit taken to the boards aggressively. The puck goes around back of the net. Centering pass off Hildeby into the net. 5-0. Wow.
Whether it was Hildeby or maybe Max Domi who was in the blue paint, but again, the bottom part of the net is not sealed off.
Olivier's getting credit for the goal.
And this is Simon Benoit gives it to Chris Tanev. Took a huge hit as the Blue Jackets were able to keep it into the zone. Or no, I guess this didn't go off. This was.
Oh, no, the centering pass, Olivier in front of the net. I thought it went off from the pass from behind the goal, but it was not.
Either way, Olivier's got his third of the season. Olivier and the Leafs are in big trouble.
Pontus Holmberg gets it back to the point. Long shot goes wide of the goal. Lorenz couldn't maintain possession. Now Reeves out there as the puck comes back to the point, backhanded towards the goal. It's caught, and an easy save for Tarasov to stop play. The 7:55 remaining in the second period. A centering pass that Tanev couldn't get to, and no one took Olivier in front of the net, and Matthew Olivier has made it 5-0 in favor of the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, really, Olivier finds some space between Max Domi and Simon Benoit, but nobody goes to the Columbus forward.
Zach Aston Reese draws the lone assist on the goal.
The Columbus goal is his second.
And a 5-0 shellacking is in progress at Nationwide Arena in Columbus.
And goaltending aside, I mean, Columbus has easily been the better team on the ice.
Robertson brings it in on the right side, tries to make a backhand, but it went well wide of the goal, and Karam's all the way out at center, and it's the Blue Jackets. Fantilli bringing it in over the line. Dropped it into the corner now for Pugia. Back to the point once more for Christensen, and Christensen drops it back again. Chinnikov with a shot into the chest of Dennis Hildeby. He will stop play with 7:13 left to go here in the second period.
Well, a wild one that seems to be going on in New Jersey right now. The last update you had was 6-2 for Tampa. It's now 6-4. By the way, Jonas Johansson gets the starting goal. Andre Vasilevsky yanked midway through the game last night here in Toronto. And there was some talk that they'd go right back to Vasilevsky, but that wasn't the case. 7-4.
They're coming fast and furious. Face-off scrum to the far boards. Poked loose by the Blue Jackets. A shot goes wide of the goal. And the Leafs are going to get it off the boards and out into the center ice area. Trying to get to it there was Nylander. He had it black of the net. Matthews trying to center. So Nylander on the line here with Marner and Matthews. Back to the point. One-timer blocked in front of the goal. Cleared up on the wing. Not out. Marner to Matthews. His wrist shot went wide. Tanev trying to keep it alive on the right wing. Gives it to Nylander. Nylander circles the goal with it. Centering pass. Marner trying to chip at it. And the Blue Jackets get there to take it away. And Provorov will play it out. 6:26 left to play in the second period. And it's been all Blue Jackets 5-0. And the Jackets have it again. Down the left wing side, Werenski trying to center. Backhand shot went wide. Centering effort didn't work. Now another pass in front. Werenski couldn't come up with it. Matthews does. His lead pass trying to spring Bobby McMahon. And a generous icing call by the linesman is going to bring it all the way back into the Toronto end.
I mean, it's got to be a difficult job on the icings for the linesman. First one back to the hash marks, right? There's no line where you can, like the blue line, where you can judge it offside a lot easier. But that certainly looked like Bobby McMahon had the edge. The face-off will come all the way back into the Leaf zone. Marner was able to get off, so now you've got Matthews, Nylander, and McMahon out here for this face-off with the Leafs not able to change.
A shot deflects wide of the Toronto goal. Benoit ties his man up, but the puck comes free. Blue Jackets after it again. Danforth into the corner. And Columbus is quite happy to try to pour it on here and pad the statistical part of the equation. They have it down deep in the Toronto end. The puck is dropped and pushed out at center ice then by Toronto. And one of the Leafs got, I think that was Bobby McMahon, got hauled down. Shot goes wide of Hildeby's cage. And the puck is back in the Toronto end. McMahon plays it off the boards to get it around Jack Johnson and into Columbus territory. Blue Jackets start out of their own end. Lead pass at center is dropped off onto the right wing side. Brought in now by Jack Johnson. The veteran gets it into the corner. Domi took it away from him. Now Timmins trying to get it up on the boards. That doesn't work. 4:57 left to go in the period as Nyes is able to find Pontus Holmberg, who's able to just dump it into the Columbus zone. Puck along the end boards draws a crowd. Nobody able to come out with it cleanly, and the Blue Jackets finally do. Van Riemsdyk, who opened the scoring for the Blue Jackets at 5:29 of the first period. They scored 3 in the first and have added 2 more here in the second. Van Riemsdyk's centering pass went right through the blue paint. Nobody there. Back to the point once more. Christensen with a long shot. That deflected wide. And it looked like Hildeby lost sight of that one as the Leafs are able to get it out. And Domi's pass doesn't connect for Pontus Holmberg. Tinnikov for the Jackets in on the left wing. Putia with a pass into the slot, and a shot was blocked in front of the net by Timmins. Kept alive at the blue line by Fantilli. Long shot goes wide of the goal, and it's going to carry him and go all the way down into Columbus territory with 3:50 to play in the second period. Fantilli gets in across the line, works into the corner and stops up. Gets it back to the point. Played off on the left wing side for Werenski. A shot goes wide of the goal and around back of the net. The Leafs come up with it as Morgan Riley is unable to get it out initially, but then it's cleared by the Blue Jackets themselves back into their own territory. Lorenz freed it up for Tavares. He had Reeves alone in front of the net, but the puck was blocked by the defense. Kept in at the blue line by Toronto. They'll play it down into the corner. And the Blue Jackets along the boards as Reeves arrives on the scene. Tavares trying to center. That didn't work. And it'll be brought out at center by Ivan Provorov and sent into the Toronto end as both teams are trying to get a change going. Hildeby punches it around the boards, but it's cut off there by the Blue Jackets. Fed to the left wing side. Christensen with a shot. Hildeby gloves it. Stops play with 2:51 to go here in period number 2. 5-0 in favor of the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure with Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency and free to explore. And with tons of cargo space.
Hey you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for the Leafs hockey game. Please hit that subscribe button down below and help us on our road to 75,000 subscribers. We just passed 50K. This group of Toronto sports fans keeps on growing. Welcome to all of you new folks here in the chat. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and let's get back to the hockey. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for becoming an insider. See you in the chat.
Play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Craig likes it warm. Craig loves 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Craig doesn't understand Fahrenheit. But Craig does like to save money when he's at work. Craig also cares about his carbon footprint. He's so thoughtful, that Craig.
With SmartFlow from Enbridge Sustain, you won't have to think about your HVAC, but it will always be thinking of you. For a limited time, sign up and get up to $1,000 in bill credits and apply for up to $3,000 in rebates. Learn more at EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
They score! Rocket McMahon again!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Columbus Blue Jackets 5. The Toronto Maple Leafs no score, and the shots are 27-17 in favor of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And really, you could only blame the back-to-backs so much. This was just a game the Leafs have had absolutely no jump in. And
no jump, no finesse. And a little flick off a stick that bounces into the air is caught by Hildeby. And
unfortunately, you get the performance you did from Stolarz last night, and like we said, a lot of the goals that Hildeby's given up tonight were similar to what Vasilevsky was beaten on 24 hours ago. The old saying, goaltending's 50% of the game unless you don't have it, and then it's 90%.
That's right. Shot down into the Columbus zone, the puck around back of the net. Provorov trying to free it up, and it's going to be set around the boards and out into the center ice area. A 2-on-1 break here, and another shot off the glove of the Leaf goaltender as Marchenko broke in there on the right wing. Back to the point it comes to Werenski. Werenski with a centering pass and a pad save made by Hildeby. The Leafs don't clear it for him. Puck is down and centered in front of the net. Taken to safety by Ekman Larsson. And it's played along the boards, but still not out. Here's Sillinger playing it down into the corner. Trying to come out in front. Was able to get a shot away that went wide. Werenski plays it back to the blue line. Sillinger keeps it in, but it is poked to center ice. And now the Leafs have a 2-on-1 break going the other way with a pass for Marner from just everything that is going wrong. Pacioretty had a 2-on-1 and never did get it to Marner. Now here's a backhand by Tavares that is stopped there by Tarasov, and it'll be cleared down the ice, but icing will be waved off. Tanev getting it up on the right side. Tavares across the line. His pass intercepted. Monahan comes back and sends it down into Toronto territory. And if in fact there were some harsh words at the end of the first period, there's really no need.
No.
And nothing to be said after the second. The team did not respond. As a shot here scores. As a wrist shot from right in the slot area by Nyes somehow gets through a maze in front. And so, in fact, if one of the great comebacks is going to happen, it starts with 1:01 left to go in the second period.
Like we said a year ago, it was 5-0 into the third period, and the Leafs were able to come back. And this was the simple hockey that has worked for the Leafs up to this game. Chip the puck in, get it deep, get traffic in front. And part of that traffic was John Tavares providing the screen, but Matthew Nyes takes the puck out into the high slot, is able to turn and fire it towards the Columbus net. I don't think Tarasov sees this as it beats some blocker side, so the Leafs are on the board to make it 5-1.
And how many games have they gone without being shut out now, Mr. Ralph? 5?
5, yeah.
I'll help where I can. Puck goes out of play and into the crowd. Nyes with his third goal of the season. And the Leafs are on the board, but it is a large hill to climb.
But again, now, you get to the point, and Columbus is probably sitting there saying they're going to come eventually. They're going to get some moments where they're going to start to push. Now, the downside, if you're Dennis Hildeby, is the defense are now going to have to pinch. Now you're going to have to take some chances in the offensive zone to create offense, and that could lead to more on-man rushes back the other way.
Here, the Blue Jackets with the face-off win lose the puck. Marner circles back in his own zone, goes D to D with it, and then the pass up on the wing didn't reach Pacioretty, and back in over the line. Oh my! A big hit attempt there by Connor Timmins, just missed.
Well, it's a good thing he ran into the boards. He might have ended up in Cleveland.
And over the line for Matthews. His wrist shot was deflected off a shin pad and went wide. Back of the net with 16 seconds left. Marner pumps it high on the glass. It'll come around to the point at the left side. Back to Matthews. His one-timer was blocked before it reached the front of the net. And the Jackets get it out at center ice. Shot right back in again by the Maple Leafs with just 2 seconds left. It'll come back to the point, and the last shot attempt goes whistling wide of the target. And only Matthew Nyes on the board for the Maple Leafs after 5 goals scored by the Blue Jackets, 3 in the first, 2 in the second.
And I think one of the things, Joe, you're looking for in the third period, win the period. Outshoot them 25-5 and trying to mount the comeback. For Columbus, they're not going to be thinking about offense going into the third. So from a Leaf standpoint, dominate. It might not be enough for you to get anything out of this game, but you want to see them show up in period number 3.
29-18, the shots favoring the Blue Jackets, and the score favors them a lot as well by a 5-1 count. We'll step aside. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You have confident quarterback play for this Pittsburgh Steelers program. This team is a Super Bowl contender.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Patrick Mahomes does something when you need it the most. That's what's so amazing about this guy.
What's up, insiders? How we doing? The Leafs not doing so hot. However, there is still time. Third period coming up. What's up, guys? Hey, Sasha in the chat. What's up, Sasha? Thanks for coming and hanging out with the hockey fans again. Good luck to your Dodgers in the World Series. I just came to to add a little note here into the list and say what's up to everybody, and a huge shout out, as always, to Jose Duarte with the super chat. My man, thank you so much. Greatly appreciated the support. And come on, buds, let's go. Let's get this chat fired up. Let's cheer our buds on. Let's cheer it on. Go Leafs, go. Go Leafs, go. I'm gonna leave the rest to you because I gotta try and save this voice for Game 1 of the World Series. Whew. All right, we'll see you guys back in the chat. Big third period ahead. Refill those cocktails. I'm gonna get a hot toddy. See you in a bit.
The SiriusXM app.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stiller. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding Meat Scott's going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert. And that was a doozy. It is
boy,
5-1.
Oh boy. That's a boy, oh boy.
That's a boy, oh boy. Columbus Blue Jackets 5-1 over the Maple Leafs after 40 minutes.
Yeah, there was some hope, right? Like things could be different in the second
we convinced
period.
ourselves.
Like, hey, Craig Berube. Get a chance to be Craig Berube. And boy, nothing really changed. And that became a fake game like almost immediately upon the start of the second period, where it's like, yeah, we're not even watching hockey anymore. We're watching
a slop
fest. Just shinny guys skating around, lead protected, no real intensity whatsoever. Kind of a stunning look, honestly. Like just 22 hours ago, Maple Leafs completing a real comprehensive, dominant victory where you looked the part of a legitimate, may I say, Stanley Cup contender, and now this is a very large egg laid against one of the worst teams in the league. This is quite the contrast.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like you're not doing a back-to-back against the Devils or a back-to-back against, anyone in your own division that is threatening the Bruins, whomever. This is the Columbus Blue Jackets, who are second from the bottom in the East, I think, or at least the Metro, and they are not a team that should be winning 5-1 over you. Yes, the back-to-back's tough, and there's travel in there, and you're playing a goaltender who's only got a game or two under his belt at the NHL level. So let's start with the goaltending, because I think there's definitely a glaring need for Dennis Hildeby to get more AHL time. Nobody thought he would come up and then take the NHL starting job. So I'm assuming after tonight he'll go back when Joseph Woll is ready. We know Joseph Woll was on the ice, so let's say Joe is ready Thursday to play the St. Louis Blues. the Leafs have some decisions to make because they play on Thursday and Saturday. Saturday's the Boston Bruins. You would think that Anthony Stolarz has earned a big match against the Boston Bruins. So you kind of hope at this point that Wall's ready for Thursday because you're in a bit of a tricky spot now. I mean, Hildeby's not going to feel great about tonight. You also don't want to send a guy down to the AHL and this be his last NHL game he plays in a while, right?
I think that's okay.
That's good. But last year they were very careful about playing him in any NHL games because they were worried about this. Like, you don't want to get him in a bad spot where he blows up and then he loses confidence, and you want him to just like keep cooking at the AHL level. And now he's got one good game and one bad game.
Yeah, the feeling is different now, right? Let's say Joseph Woll did return tonight, and Dennis Hildeby was sent down with the one victory on his belt. And it's
that's a nice
got a taste, and you played behind Stolarz, and everyone felt really good about the position while you're up there. Like, that would have been a really good story before you go back to the American Hockey League and continue to work on your craft, and maybe the Maple Leafs don't ever have to use him again, at least this season, with Matt Murray waiting in the wings and the healthy Joseph Woll and Anthony Stolarz. So it's a different story now being written on Hildeby, who was lumped into and painted through this, pretty wide brush where we're talking about the Leafs goaltending in the absence of Woll. It included Hildeby, but let's be honest, it was 98% Anthony Stolarz, right? So it is a different story being told as Hildeby leaves or as he exits and he goes down to the American Hockey League level. But he can't go right away if Joseph Woll isn't ready. And then there's the opportunity for one more start. So it does hinge, I guess, on Woll. It can be not sloppy at all if Joseph Woll is just ready. But yeah, you're right. Hildeby would have to play likely if Woll needs another week or two. So yeah, it definitely hinges on Woll, but running straight back to Stolarz is not going to be something I don't think Craig Berube is going to be all that.
Is this where Matt Murray comes into play?
Uninterested in doing. Well, yeah.
This performance tonight, Matt Murray.
You can
equal, better,
Dennis Hildeby being set down is one of the non-issues.
Oh no! I mean, if Matt Murray was in net tonight, would the score be similar?
Maybe similar, but not the same. The second one could go in on Matt Murray, sure. Could go in on Anthony Stolarz, I suppose. But yeah, this has not been a banner night for goaltending, and I think you would definitely accept, if given the benefit of hindsight, the alternative. But, Matt Murray, I do believe, is going to get his chance, but not until Joseph Woll gets his chance. And we're going to be running Woll and Stolarz here in short order, I believe. So I wouldn't say the sky is falling from a goaltending standpoint.
No, definitely not. And the good thing is they have a few options, which they never really did. But you just hope that if this is the end of Hildeby's NHL run here for a bit, that he's not going to take it too much to heart and he can go light up the AHL. We'll take a quick break. We got the NHL scoreboard on the other side and a couple more thoughts before the third period. It is 5-1 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Over to our sideline and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
NHLshop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics. And all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLshop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
As fall approaches and birds head south, a different kind of bird emerges, the Subaru. While migratory flocks seek warmth, Subaru's symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive keeps drivers soaring through the wild. During the migrating season, Subaru's hunger for adventure grows exponentially, driving the intrigued radio listeners to fall for Subaru at their local Subaru dealerships, experiencing an adventure of their own. So migrate to your local Subaru dealership to book a test drive today.
Desjardins Insurance cares a lot about their clients. In fact, it's packed with such a ginormous amount of vast and substantial care that's bursting with even more whoppingly humongous and colossal care. You might be a little surprised when we tell you that all of that care fits in the palm of your hand. With the Desjardins Insurance mobile app, you'll get a big hand with 24/7 paper-free access to all of your home and auto policies, including your digital pink slip. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Domi! That was up the rebound. Scores! Max Domi!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey. Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It is 5-1 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. The NHL scoreboard is presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365 must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. Let's go, Justin.
All right, quick time. 16 games, 3 finals. The Sabres beat the Stars 4-2. The Wild beat the Panthers 5-1. And the Capitals beat the Flyers 4-1, still ongoing in the third period. The Lightning have an 8-5 lead over the Devils. The Rangers 5-2 in the third over the Canadiens. The Jets hold a 2-1 lead in the second period over the Blues. Red Wings 1-0 over the Islanders, end of 2. Canucks 4-2 over the Blackhawks, also in the second period. After 1, the Avalanche lead the Kraken. Predators have a 1-0 lead over the Boston Bruins. Oilers on a goal from Connor McDavid, 1-0 over the Hurricanes late first, and 0-0 Senators in Utah. They are just getting underway. Still to come, Penguins and Flames, Sharks and Ducks, Kings and Golden Knights on this frozen frenzy.
You nailed it with 10 seconds to spare.
Perfect.
You'll have to do one more at the end of the game. All right, it is 5-1 for the Columbus Blue Jackets over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's see what this 20 minutes has in store. Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the third period next. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Add some ghoulish grooves to your Monster Mash. With the ultimate Halloween party mix.
This is Halloween.
The Freaky 50. A spooky selection of songs to make you shudder and dance. Find the Freaky 50 along with many more Halloween specials in the SiriusXM app. Just search Halloween.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
No one keeps you closer to U.S. soccer than SiriusXM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the SiriusXM app. Just search FC.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite SiriusXM FC shows on the all-new SiriusXM app, now available for all subscribers.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The Leafs Radio Network.
Third period ahead of us, and as Eilish Borfar and Justin Cuthbert pointed out, it has been a strange night in the National Ice Hockey League. goals coming in from the other end of the rink in New Jersey. One caromed off the stanchion, and as Jake Allen's been in goal for all of it, he was in behind the net when the puck went in to the front of the net.
Well, and you know what? That's where the Leafs can't use the excuse playing back-to-backs.
Nope.
Because Tampa played last night, obviously, as well, and have 8 in New Jersey. By the way, if you want to go back to last year when the Leafs came back, or you want to do the promo first? When the Leafs were down 5-0, Willie Nylander started the comeback 38 seconds into the third period to make it 5-1. Marner made it 5-2 at 3:49, and then it wasn't until the final 5 minutes that the Leafs scored 3 goals, including the last 2 from Austin Matthews. So they've already got the one. Get one early, and you might get Columbus tighten up just a little bit. But Dennis Hildeby, it's hard to say what is the biggest obstacle, shutting out Columbus for a period or scoring 4 to get back into it.
Third period brought to you by Enbridge Sustain, with a smart flow heating and cooling system that always thinking about you. You can just think about the players' sweet flow. And that has been the situation that has befell the Maple Leafs. They could use a little sweet flow here in the third period. And you feel for Craig Berube. Obviously, the St. Louis Blues are arriving here on Thursday. That's going to be an emotional night for him, but his team has not responded at all in this game in Columbus to this point. Now, we'll wait and see what happens, but at this point, it has just been kind of a frightening night, really. Yeah. And Olivier's got a pair of goals. He's looking for the hat trick.
And now it looks like Craig Berube again mixing up the lines. He's got Bobby McMahon out with Matthews and Marner to start.
Leafs to the right and the Jackets to the left. We're underway as it's played in over the line and stolen back by Matthews, who hammers it off the glass and spins it out at center ice. Trapped there by McMahon. Matthews couldn't come up with it. Ekman-Larsson back after it, and a penalty coming here against the Blue Jackets. So from the little acorn grew the mighty oak.
Well, it better grow in a hurry.
Puck back in the Toronto zone with the net empty. McMahon drops it back for Nylander. Nylander starts out with a pass up on the left wing for Matthews. He circles back. He's going to carry it with a little flip pass ahead. Dropping back for Nylander. Nylander hits the line. It's going to be touched, and here is the penalty and the power play that will go to the Maple Leafs, brought to you by Enbridge Sustain. With smart flow heating and cooling system that's always thinking about you, you can just think about the players' sweet flow.
Yeah, now this is, remember we said that Domi was maybe close to getting a penalty called against him with a hook into the hands. That's exactly what Marchenko gets called for. As puck was turned over, Ekman-Larsson going back into his own zone, and Marchenko trying to lift the stick, got the stick into the hands, and the Leafs go on the second power play, but first full one of the night.
57 seconds in, and they'll start by having to go back to center ice to retrieve a shootout by the Blue Jackets.
Well, we said that the big boys are going to have to be responsible for getting the team back into this, and here's the first test for it.
On the left wing side, Matthews gains the zone, tried to make a pass in, but it was intercepted and shot down the ice. Oliver Ekman-Larsson goes back to retrieve the puck. He's been quarterbacking the number 1 unit. Brought on by Matthews through neutral ice on the wing to Nylander. Flipped in on the right wing side. Marner back to Matthews. Center pass didn't work. Comes to Tavares on the left half boards. Tavares down low below the goal line. Marner now getting it back to the point. Nylander back to Marner. Marner top of the circles. A pass across. That skipped over the stick of Matthews. He'll get it back to the blue line. Nylander down into the corner. Matthews trying to center. That was knocked in along the boards and backhanded but not cleared. Marner gets it back to the point to Ekman-Larsson. Ekman-Larsson on the wing for Nylander. Nylander down low for Matthews. Back to Willie in the slot. Near side, a one-timer by Marner is swallowed up by goaltender Tarasov.
41 seconds left in the Leaf power play. But John Tavares, Joe, seconds before, made a great play to keep the Leafs in control of the puck. It looked like Columbus was going to be able to get the puck out of the zone, but John Tavares fought through a couple of men to be able to keep it in. And that leads to Mitch Marner with the one-timer, little off balance. But the second power play unit has come out now for the Leafs.
And the draw controlled by Columbus. They feed it around on the boards, but the Leafs are able to trap. Morgan Riley at the left point with a shot, looking for a redirection there from Nyes. It was not forthcoming, and the puck is caromed all the way down into Toronto territory. 25 seconds left to go in the power play as Morgan Riley starts out with it. He'll carry it up at center with a pass to Domi, who shoots it in. It'll go around the boards to the far corner. McMahon arrives on the scene. That draws a crowd. Robertson trying to dig it out of the maze. It comes back to the point. Riley is able to keep it in, but a weak wrist shot is handled easily and punched out at center. And now an odd man rush for the Blue Jackets, and the shot was deflected by Hildeby and went wide. Power play had 2 shots on goal, but not much opportunities. In around back of the net, the Leafs keep it in with McMahon getting it down into the corner. Nyes centering effort didn't work, and grabbed off now by Marchenko, who will get it out at center and backhanded down into the Toronto end by Zach Aston Reese. Jake McCabe getting it around the boards on the left wing. The Leafs' worst defeat last year was a 6-2 decision, I think, by Vegas, was it not?
Maybe a couple of 4-goal defeats. I'm not sure if it went worse than that, but yeah.
Yeah. Down into the corner in the Blue Jacket end. Reeves gets a hit in, but can't come away with the loose puck. Severson got it around back of the net, and that's cleared into the center ice area. Blue Jackets unable to get to it, and the Leafs go back with Lorenz dropping it back to his defense and heading to the bench. A pass on the near side. Benoit unable to flip it in, cut off there by the Blue Jackets. They play it back out into neutral ice. Sean Corrali starts to center, launched high into the Toronto end, and a whistle here.
Nobody seems to know what it's for. Linesman had his arm up.
So was it icing? Maybe it was.
I think somebody's got some explaining to do.
Well, maybe they could explain it to us. No, it looks like they're going to bring it back to center ice. Maybe the wrong call was made.
And we talked about Dennis Hildeby, and in this situation, he knows Joseph Wall is coming back. There was a chance Wall was supposed to play tonight. So you know it was a tough situation, but at least he got the first one in New Jersey where he picked up the win. And the name I'll throw out to you is Kazimir Kaskaseu. He got 1 start for the Leafs, gave up 6 in Pittsburgh. I believe it was the second last game. Looks like the Leafs are going to take a penalty here in the offensive zone. But it was, I think, the second or third last game for Mike Babcock. And Kaskaseu would only play another 15 minutes in his NHL career, and that was in Nashville the next year.
Here the Blue Jackets with an extra attacker on the ice, getting it in over the line. Rung around the boards by LeBanc to the far side. It caroms out at center and is slid down the boards back into Columbus territory, and they'll go back to retrieve the puck. Too bad it didn't hit that broken glass. It might have ricocheted into the empty net.
Just thinking that with the goalie goals, I saw a list of goals that were shot into the net and goals that were considered own goals, but the goalie was the last one to touch it.
Here the Blue Jackets back in with a pass, comes back to the point, and it's going to come all the way back out at center ice. There's really no urgency here for the Leafs in pressuring. And if nothing else, the Blue Jackets are working the clock here with a 5-1 lead and 6 attackers on the ice. And a power play to come. To the line, finally touched by Toronto, and so the faceoff will be brought into the center ice area, and it's John Tavares who's heading over to the penalty box. So the penalty kill is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.ca.
And Tavares goes the stick. The stick blade doesn't really get into the skates. It was more on the left knee of Sean Corrali, the forward for the Columbus Blue Jackets, but enough to take him down and draw the penalty.
second power play of the game for the Blue Jackets. They've not scored with the man advantage of the 5 goals. So the Leafs, who have been playing pretty well 5-on-5 over the first 6 games, have not been very good here tonight. As it's brought to center ice by Pontus Holmberg, who will weave in, got a shot away that was knocked out of the air by Tarasov. And now an errant pass, and the Leafs are stretching things out in the neutral zone, and it'll be shot down the ice and just out of the reach of Pontus Holmberg, who was cruising along the blue line. Werenski to center. The veteran drops it back. Blue Jackets get it in over the line on the left wing side. Try to work into the corner. And it's going to go high off a stick and into the screen. And a faceoff will come in the center ice area. The Blue Jackets wearing a medallion number 13 on their jerseys, and of course did such a marvelous job in celebrating the life and times of Johnny Gaudreau and his family. And I thought the great idea was starting one man short and playing the first 13 seconds without anything, and the puck in that area where Johnny Gaudreau would have lined up.
And let the clock tick off 13 seconds before blowing the whistle.
Played by the Leafs down the ice. Blue Jackets go back to recover the puck. Brought out at center. Werenski draws it in on the right side. Sillinger couldn't get it to the net cleanly, and then when it did, it rolled in on Hildeby, and he stops play with exactly a minute to go in the power play. 13-14 left to play in the third period, and the Columbus Blue Jackets having their way with the Maple Leafs 5-1.
They said coming into the game, the Leafs had not given up more than 2 goals with a goaltender in the net. Lost 4-1 home against New York Rangers, but the last 2 were empty netters.
Played along the board, centering pass, and that was knocked down. It comes to the side of the goal, and trying to drive in there was Van Riemsdyk, but he was blocked from getting there. But the Blue Jackets keep the puck in. Down the boards, Fantilli tries to center. That didn't work. Now around back of the net, a good hit by McCabe. Stands up Fantilli. The puck goes back around to the far side. Severson trying to keep it alive, was double teamed, and the Leafs are able to play it off a stick and get it down the ice.
Just heard that Max Pacioretty will not return tonight. That coming from Leafs PR. And that might have had something to do with some of the different line combinations we saw.
Okay. Severson across the line, got it in along the boards. Don't recall him getting hurt. Puck along the boards, chopped by Nyes, and then swatted out of the midair to get the puck the rest of the way down the ice for Toronto. Penalty is over. Leafs back at full and even strength, as Marner has got his stick being held there, but no call, and the puck is down in the Toronto end. Up on the right side for Morgan Rielly. Rielly across the line into the slot, got a weak shot away that was wide of the net. A rebound on the near side, unable to center it was Matthews. It goes back of the goal. A pass back of the net for Nylander. Nylander trying to come out on the backhand, goes to the forehand and slid it wide of the net. Matthews keeping it in. Over on the far side, back it comes to Matthews. Matthews dropping it back. Marner works into the far boards, lost his footing, and the puck is cleared by Columbus to center ice. Nylander trying to make a move at the red line and lost an edge, and it went off Corrali and into the Columbus Blue Jacket bench. Face-off coming in the center ice area when we return. 11:22 remaining in the third period. It's the Blue Jackets 5 and the Maple Leafs 1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
When superstars get moved in the NFL,
the Jets are trading for Devontae Adams.
The lines move.
The Bills say, hold my beer, Amari Cooper.
Sports Grid Radio's experts analyze all the numbers.
The Bills' updated odds to win the AFC went from plus 550 to plus 450.
A 20-1 AFC championship.
What's up, hockey fans? Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It is time to let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Where is Leafs Nation watching this game here on Toronto Sports Insider together? Let us know where you're watching from. Let's see how far out our reach is for Leafs Nation. I'm sure we have Leafs Nation all over the world. Let us know with the emojis, city and state, city and province, and let's get back to the hockey because, dang, I can't talk anymore, man. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to jump in here as much as I can tonight to grace you with my lovely voice during the commercial breaks. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. Back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
Than Sirius XM FC.
We're now joined by U.S. men's national team head coach Mauricio Pochettino.
The country is about to compete, to win, and to give everything. What we need to translate to the fans, we need to be protagonists, we need to be aggressive team, an entertainment team, because we are USA and the culture is about to win.
Hear more from Mauricio Pochettino on the Sirius XM app. Just search FC.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM
and the Leafs Radio Network.
Columbus Blue Jackets on their way, it would appear, to their third win of the season, which would even their record at 3-3 and their home ice record at 2-2. With a 5-1 lead over the Maple Leafs with 11:10 to play in the third period. Played back along the boards now for McCabe. Little touch pass to get the puck to Tavares, who's able to get it out at center and down into Columbus territory. Reeves works into the corner, and then a bad pass is easily intercepted, and out come the Blue Jackets with a feed in on the right side that was just out of the reach of its intended receiver, Adam Fantilli, and an icing call is coming here against Columbus. Dean Evison in behind the bench for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Already faced his former team twice. The Minnesota Wild. He lost both games to Minnesota.
Draw to the right, and the Blue Jacket end of the rink is scrummed and controlled by the Blue Jackets.
Leafs are getting another penalty here. I don't know if a stick came up off the face-off. You got a Columbus player down right in the face-off circle. And it looks like Max Domi might be the one. Max Domi is kind of saying, look, this was a head snap fake.
2-minute minor, roughing. Well, maybe not.
I don't know if Max can push that one off.
No.
I mean, it's a smack to the back of the head. It is a roughing call pretty obviously.
I got to go with the official on this one. Anyway, penalty kill brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game. Lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Looked like the Mike Tyson video game, the knockout game. You're saying it didn't seem like a big punch.
No, but it knocked people out.
And I think it was Fantilli was the Columbus player that went down.
Third power play of the game for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
When you start doing that, it's as if you've conceded. I know the law of averages would say you're not going to come back, but that's two penalties
down. That's just the frustrating, yeah. The frustration setting in. A good hit there by Lorentz. Crumpled Marchenko on the boards, and the Leafs are going to get the puck out and down the ice. Lorentz is up forechecking, can't come up with it. And here are the Blue Jackets coming through center ice. Chinnikov works into the left wing corner, now wraps it around to the near side. Benoit got there to poke it to the blue line, but not out. Werenski kept it in. Down the boards goes Marchenko to play it around back of the net. Played in front of the goal. The Leafs got some time and space, and they'll send it out and down the ice. Minute 3 to go in the power play. 9:42 left to play in the third period. A game that was pretty much done after the first period when Columbus scored 3 unanswered goals. And the Leafs are going to clear it out and down the ice once more. 3 in the first, 2 more in the second to build a 5-0 lead. Matthew Nyes scored the lone Leaf tally. That was late in the second period. Columbus in over the line. A pass in on goal. And it gets a little bit too far to its intended receiver and is scooped up by Dennis Hildeby. And a faceoff will come in the Toronto zone. 9:08 left to play in the third period. Again, the Leafs back home on Thursday night. And the St. Louis Blues will arrive in town. There's another franchise that the Leafs have had difficulty with, especially at home.
Although did win last year. That was the Bobby McMahon game where it wasn't supposed to be in the lineup. And Tavares and Marner were late scratches with an illness, and Bobby McMahon stayed in and ended up with a 3-goal game.
Puck comes out at center ice, and the power play has 10 seconds left in it.
Rube, by the way, was not still coaching with St. Louis. He'd been replaced at that point by Drew Bannister.
Now in over the line, a shot off a wing and into the chest, swallowed up by Hildeby. And you feel bad for Dennis Hildeby, who played so well in his first game, but you could see right away he was fighting the puck here this evening and was not comfortable at all.
And yet, guys in front of him didn't bail him out either.
No, they didn't. 8:39 to play third period. 5-1 Columbus. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Whoop, Alice is excited.
Hey, Insiders. Thank you all so much for helping me create this amazing Leafs community. Absolutely insane to think that this time last season we had 4,700 subscribers, and last night we passed 50,000. We are on the road to 100K. We're going to get that plaque. That's what set this Dad of 4 out on this mission to bring together the best Toronto sports fan club in the world, and we're doing just that. And I cannot thank you enough for being here and being a part of this amazing, amazing community and helping us make a difference with the real world by making donations to SickKids Hospital together as a community. And every single video that we do, every single Leafs game, every single Blue Jays game, every single MLB playoff game, we're making a difference with SickKids Hospital. Thank you all so much. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go.
Basically besties. With SmartFlow from Enbridge Sustain, you won't have to think about your HVAC, but it will always be thinking of you. With smart controls and zero upfront costs. Visit EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com to learn more.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Maxwell Domi! And the Leafs have a 5-1 lead.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Blue Jackets 5 and the Maple Leafs 1. With 8.5 minutes to play in the third period.
I think like we said, you wanted to see some sort of pushback in the third. The Leafs just don't seem to have any legs, but just 4 shots on goal here in the third period, which is not going to help you with a miracle comeback.
So if Wall is ready to go, and from all reports he is, and Dennis Hildeby is headed back to the Marlies, that becomes an extraordinarily crowded crease. The Marlies are off to a great start, and their goaltending has been outstanding.
Yeah, Hildeby played 40 games last year with the Marlies.
Yes, he did. Here are the Blue Jackets getting it out at center. They'll get it in over the line. A pass into the slot and a shot and scoring. Marchenko with the wrist shot, and he extends the lead to 6-1. And a lot of people's plus minuses are taking a hit here tonight.
Marchenko, third goal of the season for him. And another one off the rush. Ekman Larson got caught a little bit deep, but then everybody collapses. And it's the late man Marchenko picks up the puck on a pass from the right wing boards to the high slot. And he just walks in and snaps it. Past Morgan Riley and over the glove of Hildeby to make it 6-1.
So the Blue Jackets are padding their statistics at the expense of the Maple Leafs.
Well, the 2 other wins they had, they were 6-goal performances.
So Monahan draws one assist. And Cole Sillinger the other. As a long shot deflects wide of the Columbus goal. Reeves unable to get to it. And it is scooped by LeBanc out at center ice. Shot right back into the Columbus zone as the Leafs are in the midst of a change. Pontus Holmberg up in the forecheck. And the Columbus Blue Jackets will circle back into their own zone. LeBanc dropping it off. Really not much time to do much. You wouldn't think they would practice tomorrow, but after this, you never know how Craig Berube is going to handle things. And now a backhand try, and the Leafs get a goal. Nick Robertson on a scramble play, who has been looking for his first goal of the season, gets it here in a 6-2 laugher for the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And for Nick Robertson, a little bit of relief. First goal, first point of the season. Well, he had some great opportunities last night against Tampa, and they wouldn't go. And this all started with John Tavares knifing his way through three Columbus defenders, got the shot on goal. And it was a big rebound that Robertson picked up and then threw a lot of traffic in front. Was able to go forehand, backhand, and tuck it around the Columbus goaltender. But that sixth goal for Columbus pretty much...
Oh, sealed the deal. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
But 6-2 Blue Jackets, 6:38 to go here in the third.
Jackets go back in their own zone. Christensen sends it around the boards to get it out. And he'll backhand it in over the line. Grabbed off it with a centering pass. It bounces to Robertson, who pushes it ahead. And Holmberg will play it down to try to get around the Blue Jackets defender, but was unable to do so. So Nick Robertson, who has had such a great preseason, literally ensured that he was going to be on the team. And now Reeves is going after Juracek, who stepped up in the middle of the ice and really flattened Pontus Holmberg.
But it was a clean hit. And I mean, I know, especially under the circumstances with the score, and Ryan Reeves is on the ice. If he doesn't do this, some people are going to question, why didn't you? That's your job. So Ryan Reeves is going to get the penalty. And one thing for sure, the defenseman Juracek wanted nothing to do with it. But it was a clean hit.
Penalty number 24, 2-minute minor, roughing. Toronto penalty number 75. It's a double minor, 4 minutes for roughing.
So Olivier's going to get, Reeves gets the double minor. Olivier gets one for roughing, which is the courtesy call. But there's nothing wrong with this hit, is there?
No, there's not, other than the fact what the score is.
Yeah.
You know, it's taking advantage of a situation that's not there. And Juracek decided to step into Pontus Holmberg coming across in the neutral zone. And full marks for Reeves. I mean, that's exactly what you said. Yeah. He's on the ice. He has to respond. And Olivier jumps Reeves from behind to take a penalty as well. But Reeves will get the double minor here.
And I don't know what Reeves is talking to the officials about. The penalty box door was open. I'm not sure there's a great case. But Columbus already up 4. Got another power play here with 6:02 to go in the third period.
So the face-off won and hammered down the ice by the Maple Leafs. And once again, the Leafs are in the penalty kill situation, which is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealer. Up your game and lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
And a couple of shorthanded goals to make it interesting.
Cross the line. Comes back to the point. 5.5 minutes to play in the third period. It'll be swung around the boards to find Cole Sillinger on the right wing. He'll play it back to the point. Creeping in is Werenski. His shot knocked away by the Leaf goaltender. The puck back of the net. Stolen now by Pontus Holmberg. No less the wearer for the hit at center ice. And he gets it out and down the ice. That's the type of hit, though, that really could have caused some damage.
Oh, yeah. But, it's difficult to say, we're up, so I'm going to try to play differently and not hit somebody. If the opportunity's there, anybody's going to take it.
Werenski at the point, dishes off on the left wing. Curling back with it is Chinnikov. Chinnikov down the left wing boards. Now a centering pass went off the stick of Danforth. Cleared to the line, just kept in. Near side then for Sillinger, a shot. That was stopped by goaltender Dennis Hildeby and then shot out and down the ice. Right back in for Justin Danforth. 29 seconds in the penalty. The Leafs are able to clear. Provorov will circle back with 4:24 to go in the third period. A game that was decided in the first period. And the Blue Jackets roared out to a 3-0 lead. They'd make it 5-0 before any response from the Maple Leafs. And the two teams have traded goals here in the third period. And a couple of clearing attempts there by Lorenz failed. The puck is in the Toronto zone down into the left wing corner. And the penalty has expired as it is shot down the ice now by Toronto. And an icing call will come as a result with 3:48 to play in the third period.
Well, Kirill Marchenko's got the 6th goal for the Columbus Blue Jackets. His rookie year, 2 years ago. You know what his numbers were? 21 goals, 4 assists. I mean, that's 21 and 4 would be, that'd get you a Cy Young, wouldn't it?
Yep.
And even last year, he ended up with more goals than assists, 23 goals, 19 assists.
Trying to see when the Columbus Blue Jackets are in Toronto. We'll go through the list here. Oh, here we are, January the 22nd. Two teams will meet. Hildeby playing it around the boards for Riley, who will get it up on the wing. And Nylander has taken off the puck. And the Blue Jackets try to bring it back in again. Benoit attempted to straighten up a Blue Jackets player without much success. Has the puck, though, in his own zone and plays it off the glass to center. And Marner will launch it high into Columbus territory. Matthews couldn't steal it there from the Columbus player, and neither could Marner to keep it in. Jackets get it out at center, and it'll be brought in over the line by Jack Johnson and played deep behind the Toronto goal. Swung around to the near wing to Marner. And Marner with a pass out of the reach of its intended receiver, William Nylander. Max Pacioretty leaving the game and did not return for the third period. David Camp was a healthy scratch this evening, along with Timothy Liljegren, and Philip Myers hasn't played a game yet. The extra defenseman played back in, and an icing call coming against Toronto with 2:22 left to play in the hockey game. The goal scorers have been Van Riemsdyk, Danforth, Olivier with a pair, and Monahan also for Columbus to build the 5-0 lead. Marchenko scoring in the third. Nyes and Robertson have scored for the Maple Leafs. Nick Robertson's goal coming from Tavares and Benoit in the third period at 13:03. Blue Jackets play it out at center. Cut off there at the red line. And it'll be shot by Tavares back down into Columbus territory. Tavares able to keep the puck in. Tried to play it off over on the right wing side to the defense. A long shot was well wide of the goal. Tavares against the boards on the near side. Trying to scoop it in along there for Nyes. Nyes tried to get it back to the point. That didn't work. And the Blue Jackets will carry to center and play it in over the line. And Nyes is going to chop at it and end up rolling back towards Hildeby, who scoops it up and will stop play with 1:34 left to go in the hockey game. And James Van Riemsdyk, interesting story. A guy that has bounced around a little bit here in the last couple of seasons, but is always a great power play specialist. He's terrific in front of the net. And his dad was just one of the best on the father's trips. Franz Van Riemsdyk. Yep.
Almost sounds like a movie character, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah.
It's hard to believe. I was surprised when you double check. Van Riemsdyk's only 35. Seems like he's been around forever.
Jack Johnson trying to keep the puck in, had it taken away. A penalty coming here against the Blue Jackets, and this will inflate the situation with 1:16 to go in the third period. The Leafs will go to their third power play opportunity of the game.
I think it's going to be interesting to see who Craig Berube throws out in the power play here.
Well,
you might get some fourth-line guys over the boards.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brought to you by Enbridge Sustain. With a smart flow heating and cooling system that's always thinking about you, you can just think about the players' sweet flow. So the final seconds here will be with the Leafs with the man advantage. Nyes, McMahon, Tavares. And Timmins and Riley are the defensemen. Riley comes to center. He'll flip it into the far corner. McMahon trying to get there, but without much luck. It comes back to the point. Morgan Riley with a shot and right into the chest of goaltender Tarasov to stop play with 54.1 seconds left in the game. So Elvis Merzlikins may be finding that Daniil Tarasov is someone to going to be running with the ball here a little bit as far as the Blue Jackets are concerned. They win the face-off and bounce it down the ice.
Well, I mean, he had fairly respectable numbers last year. 8-11-3 and a 3.18 goals against average.
Played in over the line by Nyes. Can't come up with it. Tavares tried to play it back to the point and has. Riley walks to the middle of the ice. All this would do is make the score look better, but it's drilled right into the chest of Tarasov with 26.8 seconds left by John Tavares, and there'll be a change of players with the power play ticking down here to end this game. 38-26, the shots favoring the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And other than maybe Nick Robertson scoring his first goal of the season, you're kind of scraping for a bright spot.
That's the highlight. Yeah, no kidding. Won by Columbus. They ice the puck. And Morgan Riley goes back. Not a lot of people left in the stands to celebrate this one for the Blue Jackets, but they're getting up on their feet. And it'll be flipped out at center ice with 6 seconds left, and Morgan Riley will just play it up ahead for Pontus Holmberg. He takes one last shot that is easily steered wide, and the horn goes to end the hockey game. 6-2, the final score, and the 3 stars are brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care.
Well, as much as you'd like to find a Leaf to put into the 3 stars, I don't think it's doable tonight, so we're going to go star number 3, Kirill Marchenko, a goal and an assist on a 2-point night. Justin Danforth, a goal and 2 assists for a 3-point evening. And Matthew Olivier, 2 goals on the night for the Columbus Blue Jackets, leading them to the 6-2 victory.
So join us on Thursday when the St. Louis Blues come to the Scotiabank Arena, the former team of head coach Craig Berube, and they'll be looking for a bounce back after getting thumped in Columbus by a score of 6-2. We'll ship it off to Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert. The postgame show coming your way. You've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Here's what's happening on Sirius XM Sports.
Opening day in the NBA continues with a marquee primetime matchup in Los Angeles as LeBron James and the LA Lakers host Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. SiriusXM NBA Radio has the exciting play-by-play action of the Lakers and Timberwolves right now on Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM Sports, wherever you are, your team plays here.
Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs fall 6-2 to the Columbus Blue Jackets. We'll get some post-game thoughts and a look around the NHL scoreboard after this quick break. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
We are 7 weeks into the fantasy football season, and whether your team is in the race or ready to make the greatest comeback ever, Fantasy Sports Radio is ready to take you there.
It's more rewarding when you lose your first-round pick and you find a way to win anyway.
From start-sit advice to waiver pickups to so much more.
You got to work the waiver wire. You got to make trades. The draft is just a piece of the puzzle.
Showtime! Make your move with Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
You either put up or shut up. Marchand does, Doughty does, Stone does. And if you don't have enough of those players, get rid of them, because they'll make you lose. They'll frustrate the fan base. I want people that are with me, rowing in the same direction. And if you can't, get out of town. We'll find someone who can.
The Power Play, weekdays 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
This is the NHL. These are pros. You don't want guys to put good power play units on, don't take penalties. You don't want good power play units to score goals when you've given up a whole bunch, kill them. You don't like it, do something about it. If you want to reward your guys who had a good game with a chance to get some more goals and points, do it. If I was a coach, I wouldn't care. Who cares? Worry about your own team. Don't worry about mine.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. NHL Morning Skate.
Michael Bunting of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You've always had the great ability to play with great players.
I think my style of play complements the top dogs, as you will, like kind of go to those harder areas in the corner in front of the net and kind of create space for them and get them the puck and, help them create offense off of that. So kind of found a little niche with that.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellar. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The head coach of the Carolina Hurricanes, Rod Brindamore.
Kochetkov making that jump last year. What do you see in the net?
The kid wants it. That's the first thing. Is he going to be the guy that we're looking at this year to get after it and take a bigger role? Maybe. But we still got Freddie in here. I think he's got something to prove. So I think we're going to have a good battle in the net.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. From in the crease to in the locker room.
Flyers defenseman Travis Sanheim.
Is it a rebuild type thing? Is it definitely a playoff team in your mind?
I think last season, I don't know if anyone in our room was saying rebuild. We thought that we could surprise some teams, and I think we did that. A lot of guys that are coming back, and then obviously adding Meat Scott's going to be huge. So, we're looking forward to getting started and seeing if we can build off of last season.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favorite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Leafs Radio Network.
We're back on Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. A 6-2 loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs against the Columbus Blue Jackets. They ended up getting two, Nyes and Robertson.
Yeah, not
of course,
all for
Robertson.
Not. Nick Robertson off the schneid, something to build on.
He feels better about that. We'll try our best to make you guys feel better about it. We'll take one last look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
Okay, the finals are as follows. The Capitals beat the Flyers 4-1. The Wild beat the Panthers 5-1. Lightning 8-5 over the Devils. Sabres beat the Stars 4-2. And the Rangers got a 7-2 victory over the Canadiens. It was high scoring in the first window. Still ongoing. Red Wings leading the Islanders 1-0 late. Jets beating the Blues 3-2 late. 4-2, the Canucks have a lead over the Blackhawks, end of 2. Avalanche 3-1, end of 2 over the Kraken. Predators have a 1-0 lead in the second period over the Bruins, while the Hurricanes trail the Oilers 2-0 midway through the second, end of 1. Senators with 4 goals, 4-0 over Utah. Flames have an early 1-0 lead over the Penguins, and still to come tonight, 2 games that haven't started yet. The Ducks and Sharks, the Kings and Golden Knights.
All right, you nailed it 3 times. Last time you had to do that for quite a while. All right, I think the vibes will be a bit different than last night on Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. We'll send it over to the boys now. You've been listening to Mostly Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Talk, JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. The word I tweeted was yuck. I don't know what else to say.
I got one to describe that game.
Yeah.
Big old fart noise, pal. That's the best way to describe that.
Pretty much right from puck drop. The Leafs tonight showed up with no legs. They looked completely disconnected, discombobulated, however you want to call it. This is a team that, Sammy, I think you would agree. There's been an overall sentiment of it's looked different through the first 5 games, that there's been real encouraging signs under Berube. And tonight, they didn't look at all like the team that we'd been watching through the first 5.
Yeah, like this was like a real throwback performance, where you just play like crap against a bad team and you waste points against a bad team, right? Like they've already done the thing twice this year where they've lost points against quote unquote bad teams at the Habs on opening night, this one here. But this one in particular, you could just feel it extremely early that this was going to be an ugly night. And this is the type of night, not to harp on one that I love to harp on here, but I'll do it, where you need this to be one of your starting goalies, one of your NHL caliber goalies that can play the second half of a back-to-back and give you some hope in a period where you have no legs, where you're tired in the second half of back-to-back. And listen, I'm not going to kill Hildeby for it. He's a kid. He played his second NHL game, couple stinkers or whatever. He didn't give him any help, and it broke him early. The second goal clearly broke them, and they just never got back into the game. And yeah, you just would have liked this to be either Anthony Stolarz or Joseph Wall in the second half of a back-to-back instead of a kid playing his second NHL start. That's one of the thoughts I had. It's just, it would be nice.
I agree. Like this, listen, this is the class line. I'm not even supposed to be here.
Exactly. Like what's he like? He's like, why am I playing in this game? Like it's brutal.
Hildeby, it's funny because the first game that he gets in is a back-to-back and they play great against the Devils, right? And he played extremely well, high pressure situation, but the team is up for it. And here you get a game where Toronto clearly left it all on the ice against the Tampa Bay Lightning the night prior. I guess that's the cost of them playing that way. I'm not trying to make excuses for them because you're still professionals, you're young, you're supposed to be able to play 2 hockey games in 2 nights and not look this poor. But they played this incredible 60 minutes the night before where they played extremely hard. And you could just tell on a lot of the back checks, like, man, you see that one where guys are just coasting in this hockey game. Like it feels wrong to single a guy out because God, just about everybody was doing it. But like William Nylander on some of these shifts, it was genuinely laughable watching some of the intensity on a few of the plays. So I agree with you.
As good as that line had been, they were equally as bad tonight in terms of the effort level. Like they jumped out to me.
Yeah, they did. And I think that they were actually the reason that Berube started to split up the lines when he did, because it happened before the injury to Max Pacioretty, which I we don't have any information on it as the show is right now. So we'll see how that develops over the coming hour or so, I would say, or over the next 15, 20 minutes. Maybe we'll get show to drop.
Keep an eye on that for us.
Berube has to say in the chat. But yeah, to the Hildeby point, it's hard to blame the kid.
I'm not blaming him at all.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be here, but you're dead right. Those were the second goal is
killed him.
That's about as bad as you can see. And there were two other ones in this game that were just absolute stinkers. And I thought for Hildeby, because so much of trying to evaluate him is, hey, try to keep his confidence high, right? Hey, try to make him feel good about his game. And yeah, for a young goaltender without a large sample size of playing at the professional level, that I imagine this one's going to be a little tough to shake, because it wasn't just the goals he let in. It was some of the saves he made where it's like he had one off the chest tonight from the blue line that he just didn't see that hit him. He had one go in behind him that may have even been a goal that they called off. He just couldn't track it. He was swimming around in his net. He was diving around like he was.
I sent the tweet. It was mean, but I did it about him giving me big time 2011 Jonas Gustafsson vibes tonight.
That's
like
rude. That's so rude.
18-wheeler Jonas Gustafsson, where every shot from every angle is just a old beehole clench. You don't know, like that one along the sideboards where they blew the horn. Yeah. And they're like, they can't do that. They can't do that. Okay, whoa. Let's all just take a breath here. Like, what's going on? But
you know what it reminded me more of was Kaskasuko, who just hung out to dry and getting lit up. And you go, so you're not supposed to be in the league, and also your team in front of you is playing like crap. Yeah.
So like that, I don't want to harp too much on Hildeby because it's not his fault.
Sure.
It's just on the second half of back-to-back, if you're going to win these games, often the start is the hardest part of the game, and you need one of your NHL caliber goalies to be playing in the second half of back-to-back to get a win. You just do.
I get the point. The point is just,
and then Walls just disappeared. But you go back to you mentioned something about how hard they played last night, and I think this is going to be something for this group that they're going to have to get used to here, bud. Where this is the way they played last night was Berube porn. Like, I'm sure Berube watches that game back and forth, like when he's sad or when he's not feeling great. To watch that game, he feels really, really good about it. The Leafs have never played harder in the Matthews era, like in a regular season game, than they played in that game. That's like, that was insane. And I think it came at a cost tonight where, like you said, they left that all out there and they played hard. But there's 82 games in this season. Like, they're going to have to figure out a way to get, I don't know if it's conditioning or get their bodies used to it or whatever it is, like to play the ideal game Berube wants you to play. You're going to have to dig deep in the second half of these back-to-backs, and they just didn't have it tonight. So it's not like a panic mode for me. Clearly it's early in the season or whatever, but it's just something to monitor because they looked gassed, and we're 2 weeks into the season, bud.
I will say
it's
that
interesting.
I didn't think that Matthews, Marner, and Nyes looked gassed. And like, those are the guys that played heavy minutes the night before. It was genuinely the second line that I thought had the poorest performance in the game in terms of the energy and the effort level.
Yeah, I mean,
and you saw the Domi
top line was all -3 tonight. So they were pretty responsible for a lot of the stuff that happened, but they were skating around. At least they had some
100%,
chances.
100%. I'm not saying that they played well. I'm just saying that, to me, Matthews looked like he had his legs for stretches. You know, Marner looked like he had his legs. Nyes scores a goal in the game, and to me, still played with some force. And so I think from at least the conditioning standpoint, that wasn't so much. I just thought, man, God, it was so sloppy. It was just hope plays. And dude, is it just me, or like, was the ice horrific only for the Leafs tonight? Like, how many pucks were bobbling around on him? It didn't seem to be an issue for Columbus, though. So I don't know what really to make of it. But how many times did it just seem to skip off their sticks, or there'd be a bobble or a miss pass? It felt like it was just pervasive throughout the entire evening.
One of the things that's been like the calling card of the early season Leafs under Berube is their breakouts have been so much better than they were in years past, with Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Tanev back there, and even Timmins, who can break it out a little bit. They're breaking out the puck way cleaner. And tonight, that was not the case. Tonight, they were like that giveaway by Oliver Ekman-Larsson where he fires it up the middle. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's Vancouver Oliver Ekman-Larsson right there. That's why Riccio's texting me being like, just wait for it, buddy. Just wait for it. Like that's why you're looking at it. And it was a brutal turnover right up the middle. So it wasn't pretty. But I thought they had a really hard time stringing any passes together. Yep. And at the end of the day, like I said, that comes down to fatigue. And it comes down to playing as hard as they did last night. And it comes down to them being able to get used to playing this style because that's the way they want them to play. So it's going to be really, I would love to know what Berube is going to say after this game. If he's going to, Can
I guess?
Do you use an early season shot or you flush?
No, you've gotten great 5 games from this team.
Yeah.
And like the first one, whatever, wasn't phenomenal, but they still outshot their opponent. It wasn't like a dog's breakfast.
Yeah. They played well in that game.
Yeah, they just lost the game, and it was fine. It was a fine performance. This is their first dogged effort where you knew from if you're a fan of this team, if you're somebody who's like watching Leafs talk right now, hey, this isn't your first time. There's probably not any new viewers this evening. It's the regulars that are.
These are hardcore, the hardcore fans tonight. Thank you.
Welcome to the Regs. What's this show? I don't think that tonight was the evening for that. So you've probably seen the Leafs do this quite a few times. So it felt very familiar. You knew right away. And again, once they didn't get that second save, and if I'm going to point out guys, Holmberg on the first one, buddy, David Kampf gets scratched from this game, and you're one of the guys that's on the bubble. Hey, guess who is probably going to have a comfy seat if Pacioretty can go in the following game? I would guess that it's not going to be Kampf for 2 in a row. I'm going to guess that it's going to be that guy. But I think that if you're Berube, you slow play this one. If you come out all fire and brimstone after one bad game, I think you're pressing the wrong button tonight. To me, this is cool, calm, collected. Hey, we're going to flush it. That's a frustrating effort. And then if you get another one of these on Thursday or on Saturday night against the Boston Bruins, that's when you try playing a different card. But I don't think that that's the first trick you go to in the bag.
Yeah, and especially since they're playing the Blues on Thursday night, where
they got a lot of games here.
That's a money on the board game for him, where he's definitely going to want to win that one. If they put a bad effort out in that one, maybe you shoot an early season flare. But
that's actually a great point too. Is just you don't want to piss the guys off before the Blues game.
No,
you want them to cave them in. I just finished reading Matt Sundin's book, and
real bookworm, you hammered that out.
I read it in a day.
Attaboy. That's impressive.
Took me most of the day, but yeah, I did finish the book this just around puck drop. Yeah. But he wrote about Pat Burns and Burns' coaching style. And he said Pat Burns, when he was really pissed off, would just be silent, and that would hurt the players sometimes the most. And I think if you're Berube, that's the move tonight. Is I hope he read Sundin's book, and I hope he read that passage on Pat Burns and went, you know what? That's the one tonight. Is just go in the room, be quiet, and then leave and be like, how do you think you did?
My parents are here right now. My parents was watching they got here late. I watched this second half of the second period and the third period. And AMAC agrees with you. My dad, he said, I wouldn't even go in the room tonight if I was Berube. Yeah. Just wouldn't even go in there, wouldn't even give him the satisfaction. So maybe he's onto something. AMAC and Pat Burns on the same level, coaching-wise.
I'll always say it. The most devastating thing that ever happened to me as a kid was when my mom caught me smoking weed in the house like a scumbag on a fake sick day, smoking a bong.
Dude, that's ruthless. In the house is
awful. She came home
brazen.
Brazen. Come up from my brother. I know, it's just awful. Blowing out the window, grade 11, like peak idiot. And she found out, and she just looked at me. She said, "I'm not mad. I'm disappointed." And to this day, it haunts me. Like sometimes I'm about to fall asleep, and I think about that, and I just, all right, I'm up. I'm not going to sleep for the next 45 minutes. Put a show on. What's on? What's on Netflix?
Time to fire up another episode of The Penguin.
Exactly. Penguin time.
That's funny.
God, I really don't have much else from this game. Let me just scroll through the notes.
Our sweet boy Tanev -3 tonight. And thought he was pretty noticeably bad tonight, actually.
And
he got hammered behind the net. He was still trying to give it, but he was -3, not pretty. Yeah. We'd be absolutely remiss if we didn't mention Nick Robertson getting off the schneid tonight.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Super Bowl. That was
Like, I honestly don't mean to say that I called it, but like on my Sam's mush picks on Real Kipper and Born, I gave out Nick Robertson as an anytime goal scorer, absolute lock of the century. And I said it could even be in a blowout. Like, I said those exact words.
Yeah, you just didn't think the blowout was going to go this way, did you?
No, I got to tell you, like, if I'm being totally honest, I did not see this coming.
No,
and in years past, I would have sniffed this out and I would have talked about this on the show, and I would have really been like, this is the spot. This is the spot.
I felt like a bozo after the second goal, going, what was Columbus tonight? Like +2 something?
Yeah, they were the Leafs, I think were minus. I think they were minus.
Yeah, they were -2+, like -220, -230. They were heavy favorites in this. And I just felt like an idiot not betting the other side in a happiness hedge, just thinking, oh yeah, whoops. I guess I shouldn't have thought Hildeby was a stud and that this team was going to show up in this game. But when I saw Tarasov at like 847 save percentage or whatever, I went, oh yeah, you're a dead man walking, brother.
Or the other way that goes, I was like, this guy's just crappy enough to have a great game here.
It's like when the Blue Jays, it's always like, oh, they got a soft tossing lefty on the mound. They're going to mash him. It's like
ERA
8 innings.
ERA of 6 in Toledo.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
The Tigers 12, Blue Jays 1.
No, but I have to say, like, I think that's maybe just how much I've bought into the Berube hype here early.
Fair enough.
Is that I didn't even sniff out the classic letdown Leafs crap the bed against a bad team. Like, I'm like, fool me once kind of thing. I guess fool me twice, shame on me. But I really, really didn't think, like I said to Borny today when we were leaving, like, I think the Leafs are going to smoke them. Like the way they played last night, like I actually was
I thought they were dialed in and that they were about to put a little streak together.
Yeah. And it didn't go that way. So shame on me for believing in the second half of back-to-back. They're still the Leafs after all. Like, they can look a little different, but I guess Tiger can't change its spot or stripes too much.
I think it's more of an old habits die hard situation. But yeah, it's did you not think though at one point in that second period that they were going to mount a little comeback? They were pressing for a bit there, and then the fifth goal goes in and you're like, all right, game over. But there was a little glimmer there in the second period, I thought, where they were going to press, but they basically only tried, I thought, for a 5-minute chunk of the game.
Not to, like, I mean, was it the fourth goal or the fifth goal?
I think it was the fifth.
The one that's just like a soft wrister from the top of the circle. And Hildeby just kicks it right onto the guy's stick in the slot. It's like, well, this game's over. But I was talking to like I said, my parents are here, and I was like, how hard should I go on this one? Like, this is an early season one. Like, am I going to be
fielding content questions from your parents?
I'm like, am I going Berube here? Like, am I just going to let this one flush, or how hard am I going to go on the early season here? But
you got an AHL goaltender now back to back after you played your best game in like maybe a year. And I can't be. And also, you know what? Good for them. It was so boring and so horrible that they lulled me to sleep by the time that I got to the end. Like, if this was the first period and we would have gotten to jump on Leafs Talk and just agreed, like, hey, we actually do these shows when we think the game is over, which to me would have been at the end of the first period, maybe I would have had a little bit more bluster. Maybe I would have had a little bit more accountability feeling towards the team. But this is just a flush it game, man.
I did like one thing I did like, which is pretty surprising.
Let me have it, because I'm kind of at a loss of what this could be.
How about Pontus? Just we thought what Gensel did was dumb last night, but skating through the middle of the ice like that just gets hammered. Like, that was like, oh my God, that's the most eligible to be hit a human's ever been. Yeah. And I did like Reeves jumping in a little bit. Sure. You're getting blown out. It's nice to see that your tough guy, looks pissed off. Domi doing dumb stuff down that big, like cross-checking guys, punching Fantilli in the head. It's nice to see guys be pissed off when you're down 5-1, because you watch other good teams when they're getting blown out, when they watch the Bruins when they're getting blown out, they start doing dumb stuff. Same with Tampa. Like last night, they were running around at the end of the game. It was nice to see a couple guys be frustrated by getting blown out. So that's literally the only positive I can drum up from this game. But how'd I do?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. This probably isn't the time for this take, but it kind of leads into yesterday as well. So again, I actually, from reading the Matt's book, because he's so tight with Ty Domi, and went through like his relationship with Ty, and reminded me of I think that Ty is kind of a bit of a lost leaf in a way. Like Tucker has still a very like big presence in Toronto, but Domi was like a real fan favorite for an extremely long time, and then he just sort of.
If you go to if you go to any Leaf game at Scotiabank Arena, like if there's a percentage of 28s,
that's
28s. He was a big time fan fave here.
But then it was like he was in phone commercials and then gone.
Yeah,
like. That's it. You can't get
back to buses. Yeah.
He'll never do an interview. Like he's somehow one of the world's most famous men. Like he's like tight with Drake. He's tight with like Mark Wahlberg. He's tight with Tom Brady.
Yeah. Tom Brady comments on Max Domi's Instagram posts.
Yeah. Every time. Yeah. So
what the hell is going on?
Anyways, no, I get it though. Again, reading Matt's book, just in terms of the kind of guy like Ty is to those dudes. Like, yeah, he just makes him feel comfortable. He's just a good guy to be around. But yeah, just that he's got that snap in him, he's got that snap. And Max tonight, it's a blowout. I love pushback. I'm with you. Like tonight is just a pushback night where it's like, do it, But Max has that little bit in him where it worries me that it's not just going to be in a blowout, right? Like it's going to be in like a 2-1 game where you're protecting a lead against the Bruins, and then he does something and you go, no, Max, no. It just he's got to find a way to strike that balance, and hopefully he can find it, because I think him playing for the Leafs really means something, and he does bring that intensity. He does care. And that means a lot to, I think, a lot of Leaf fans. I know it means something, to me as just somebody who watches hockey every night, that you can count on him giving a crap every single time he plays these hockey games. But yeah, when I saw him do the punch in the back of that thing, I was like, easy, Max. Like
that's our Maxie.
Yeah,
easy,
tonight it's fine, but Thursday 1-1. Try to keep it in your pants.
Yeah, for sure. Please. That's for sure. So you're talking to Mats tomorrow. Excited?
Yeah. Yeah. I've had Mats on the show a bunch of times before. I'm going to try to do a bit of a different interview than some of the other shows have done, just given that I did read the book, and I'm probably just going to make it a little bit more personalized, and hopefully that resonates, and that he's not gassed from doing the worldwide media tour and then saving me till dead last. But I'm optimistic for it. I've got Versteeg tomorrow. We're going to break down the power play a little bit, and it's funny because one of the big topics I had for him was the chemistry between Domi and Nylander, and then they play their worst game together and get split up. But yeah, either way, tune in tomorrow to my podcast.
If you're doing plugs, if you're listening to this, you're probably you're a big Leaf fan. Listen to Real Kipper and More today. We had Valaket on. We have Valaket on every Tuesday now on our show.
It's great.
And he told the most unbelievable story about Anthony Stolarz and one of the big reasons that he kind of bounced around. And I won't go into it too much here. You'll have to go to the pod if you haven't listened to it yet. But it's a wild story. And it was just like, it was kind of mind-blowing and sort of scary at the same time. So I'll let you, if you want to go back and listen to it, it's great. So check out Real Kipper and Born today with Valaket. He's unbelievable. We have him on every Tuesday.
Did we get the Brube post yet? Can we close on that, or we go? Didn't come in the chat, so I don't think we got it.
I haven't looked at my phone. Do you want me to quickly look at my phone?
No. I was going to say, I'm just going to go watch Bronny James score 0 points now. And
my God. Honestly, like, I know it's not NBA take.
Brube says we'll find out tomorrow on the Pacioretty injury. So that's not great, I would say.
I mean, this is a pretty predictable outcome, right? Like,
it's why he has games clauses in his contract.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the whole year, like, I'm not sure there's something I fear more or am more dreading than the content like from LeBron about Bronny this year.
Oh, I'm talking about Pacioretty.
No, I know. But like, I saw that and you updated it, but you're just talking about Bronny like that. I never get to talk about anything other than hockey. Like you mentioned it. It just, I'm dreading it. Like that commercial thing he put out today about playing a prank on the rookie. I was like, oh my God. This is going to be the worst year ever.
It's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be a lingering story.
No?
Okay. No. I think it's going to be kind of a one and done thing, and then it's not going to happen because he's not ready to play in the NBA. There's a reason, dude. His point total tonight was set at 1. So, like, if your point total is set at
1.5.
Yeah, if you set it at 1, that means you're not supposed to be in the NBA, flat out. Anyways, subscribe to this podcast, leave 5 stars, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at JDBunkus at Sam McKee, and we will see you Thursday night against Craig Berube's former team, the St. Louis Blues. See you then.
Craig likes it warm. Craig loves 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Craig doesn't understand Fahrenheit. But Craig does like to save money when he's at work. Craig also cares about his carbon footprint. He's so thoughtful, that Craig.
With SmartFlow from Enbridge Sustain, you won't have to think about your HVAC, but it will always be thinking of you. For a limited time, sign up and get up to $1,000 in bill credits and apply for up to $3,000 in rebates. Learn more at EnbridgeSustainSmartFlow.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Getting my Honda CR-V has opened the door to adventure. With Econ Mode to maximize fuel efficiency, I'm free to explore. And with tons of cargo space, it's easy to pack for getaways. My dog, camping gear. It's like I've discovered a wild, adventurous side of me. Alice is excited too.
Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,000 down. Offer includes $1,500 lease bonus. OAC conditions apply. See HondaOntario.com.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Busy with projects and such, and I know in the next 2 to 3 years, this arena that you play in is going to become a lot more hockey-friendly.
They're going to do a great job. It's kind of a 3-step process, and this is a little bit above my pay grade, but they're going to move the floor up, and then they're going to shave both ends, allowing it to be like a steep, straight-up climb with seats on both ends. It's going to be a wild-looking rink when it's done. And you know what? One of the advantages in that, it's like the loudest building in the NBA, and it was loud for our we opened on the home opener. And it's just such a great building to play in. It's pretty intimidating because as a player, you look up and it's just these steep decks coming down at you, you know, and it's just extremely loud. So we love to play in there. It's going to be, when they finish that building, it's probably going to be one of the best hockey rinks in the National Hockey League.
What about the intangible, about not having to answer questions anymore about the future of your NHL team staying in a city? You know, because you adapt with it, you go with it, but year after year, that's got to get a little tiring.
That's true. It's like we felt it last year. We went through a bad stretch last year, and it started out with just the rumors, you know, just coming out, and just the noise around your club and the negativity. It's just, it does drain our players. It drained our organization. It's nice to be, okay, hey, we're going to be here. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to move forward. And that's the greatest thing of where we are right now. You know, our players are concentrated on playing hockey. They know they're going to be in Utah, a great place to play, an amazing rink. And, you know, I think, to be honest with you, our players are very grateful for it because they haven't had that type of security and with the buildings around them, and knowing that our owner's building a state-of-the-art building that, you know, down the street to, you know, for our practice facility with 2 rinks, it's incredible. I think our players are enthused, our fans are enthused. It's just a positive place to be and play hockey, and you know, it's a credit to the NHL and Gary Bettman and the staff to get that done as quick as they did, along with Ryan Smith and the state of Utah. Because let's be honest, it'd be hard in most places to get that amount of things done and bring a hockey club in about 5 months.
That was General Manager for the Utah Hockey Club, Bill Armstrong, with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin for the Morning Skate on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Tuesday, October the 22nd. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 6 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the Washington Capitals. Flyers on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 940, Capitals on Internet 950. 6:30 p.m., Florida Panthers face the Minnesota Wild. Panthers on XM 219, Internet 931, Wild on Internet 933. 6:45 p.m., New Jersey Devils face the Tampa Bay Lightning. Devils on XM 220, Internet 936, Lightning on Internet 945. 7 p.m., Buffalo Sabres face the Dallas Stars. Sabres on XM 221, Internet 922, Stars on Internet 928. 7:15 p.m., Montreal Canadiens take on the New York Rangers. Canadiens on XM 222, Internet 934, Rangers on Internet 938. 7:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jackets on XM 223, Internet 927, Maple Leafs on Internet 946. 7:45 p.m., New York Islanders take on the Detroit Red Wings. Islanders on XM 201, Internet 937, Red Wings on Internet 929. 8 p.m., St. Louis Blues face the Winnipeg Jets. Blues on XM 202, Internet 944, Jets on Internet 951. 8:15 p.m., Chicago Blackhawks face the Vancouver Canucks. Blackhawks on XM 203, Internet 925, Canucks on Internet 948. 8:30 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the Colorado Avalanche. Kraken on XM 204, Internet 943, Avalanche on Internet 926. 8:45 p.m., Nashville Predators take on the Boston Bruins. Predators on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 935, Bruins on Internet 921. 9:15 p.m., Utah Hockey Club take on the Ottawa Senators. Utah on XM 219, Internet 940.